But I can't imagine one of the world's best sweets is available to you in Kolkata for like 10 bucks. And I mean,
That's
Italians can
true.
make their cheese with milk, but
Yeah.
what Bengalis and Orias do with milk, it is
Alag
something
level.
that boggles my mind every single day. If I have milk, if I have to give it to one set of people, I would pick the Orias and the Bengalis. Do your magic. I didn't realize that I could make that kind of chole in such a simple manner. Because usually when you learn about these dishes, oh, it has some 20-25 spices. When the
Correct.
clock strikes one, you have to add the onion, otherwise taste won't be same. You have to take the kasuri methi and use your thumb only to kasofy it. If you
Yes,
use
of
your
course, yes.
index finger, the taste will be different. All kinds of crap. This is so elegantly simple. Like take chole, put the masala,
Phenomenal.
3 to 4 whistles, nice and soft. Add your salt, add your ghee on top. No tadka, by the way, just ghee. You're done. Top notch chole. I was
Ooh.
truly at a loss of words. That how is it possible to make this kind of chole so fast and so conveniently?
I'm a huge chole fan, man.
Yeah.
I love good chole.
The real deal happened when I had the bath masala.
Hmm.
So in this, the tomato bath is tucked inside the masala dosa.
Oh.
That combination is unlike anything I've ever had anywhere else.
Hmm.
And I don't understand that in this day and age, how does that masala dosa sell for only 50 to 60 bucks is the price. It is unbelievable. And what I
Hmm.
really like about the place is that there is zero advertising. It's located in the middle of nowhere in Kapanpet. But those who know the place start queuing from 8:20 and they shut down at 11:30 by the way.
Oh,
And they
wow.
don't open for the rest of. There is no evening business and all.
Oh,
These
there's
are
no
the
evening
timings.
either. No
No,
evening
no,
dosha is either.
no.
Wow.
This is it. They open at 8:30. They're done by
My
noon.
way or the highway?
It is a very quintessential Bangalore thing, and they don't want to scale up. There are no branches. So what I like to call is that the lot of these iconic or cult places in Bangalore practice what I call anti-advertisement.
It's awesome. I love it. You know how some people run to stay fit? And then there are people like our guest today who runs half a marathon just to eat a plate of that legendary dosa from his favorite darshini. Well, priorities, right? Welcome to this episode of Misadventures of a Sneaker. I'm your host, Revati, and today I'm joined by a true food explorer. Well, I also call him a solid storyteller, someone who eats with curiosity, cooks with intent, and builds communities around flavor. We have with us Ajit Bhaskar, someone I've admired for a while now. Well, not just for his appetite, but for the way he's built a community around food. As a food scientist, Ajit knows the chemistry and combinations that go around what we eat. But as the creator of Bangalore's much loved community, the Thindi Capital, he's also known as the heart behind it. The tiny joints, the unsung cooks or chefs, like he likes to call them, the joy of a perfectly balanced chutney, and the way food can bring together complete strangers just like old friends. So, loosen your belt a little bit because there's going to be a lot of conversations around food, flavor, memory, and a lot of joy. But hey, before that, like always, let's take a quick little break. Hey, do you know we have recently launched a travel journal? A journal that is perfect for everyone, no matter your age, where each page includes a fun prompt to spark creativity, whether you're writing, drawing, or sketching in little memorabilia. Pick one for yourself, gift it to your friend, or even to a kid. It'll be a keepsake where your favorite moments will live and where a silly sketch will bring back a whole story. You'll find the link to order the journal in our show notes. Happy journaling and thank you. All right, so let's dig in. Welcome to the podcast, Ajit. I'm so excited to be talking to you. I've been following the group and a part of your group for a really long time, Thindi Capital. And, I've come on walks with you and all that as well. So, actually, now talking to you and podcasting with you, I'm really excited. So, welcome to the podcast. It's Misadventures of a Sneaker. And I look forward to talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me, Revati. I'm also looking forward to talking to you, and yeah, lot of stuff to talk about, obviously. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this as well.
Wonderful. You've been a podcaster yourself, right, Ajit? I remember listening to your episodes a while back now. Why did you stop?
I got lazy. That's the simple answer.
I have a
Ah,
strange feeling that half the questions I'm going to ask, you're going to end it with that, because I'm going to ask you questions like, Ajit, you should write a book. You're going to say I'm just lazy. Or
that's
Ajit, when I
actually
was
very
start.
true.
See.
Like it's like if somebody is willing to some sort of speech to text or whatever and then do all that stuff for me, I can write a book, no problem. But yeah, if it's left to me to kind of type it on word, that there is no way that that's happening. Sorry,
दुनिया
I
भर
am
के AI
grateful.
tools are there, Ajit, now.
Okay, without revealing my age explicitly, let's just move on to the next question.
You have, just like you have your kid as a sous chef, you can train your kid to be a fantastic um,
Like a sue author or something. I don't
sous
know.
author.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try.
So that's what I was thinking of, how do I introduce Ajit? The one thing I can say is, if you're living in Bangalore and if you're remotely a foodie, you don't have to be a foodie, you're just fond of food, there is a very high chance you have either heard Ajit, you have seen Ajit, or you have walked with Ajit, or you have run with Ajit, or you are cycled with Ajit. Bunch of things are there. So I can't call you just a storyteller, because you like to build an entire aura and an entire jazz around whatever we experience with food, because I'm a part of your Thindi group, and I have been a part of the Thindi group for a very long time now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, for a long time. So I keep seeing the recommendations, not just in Bangalore. The group is so
Hmm.
fantastic that there are anywhere you go. So for example, I went to Goa a few months back, and just
Mhm.
just do search Goa and you'll get like one beautiful collated list.
Yes.
And huge credit to you and the community that you have come around forming.
Thank you so much.
I went for a fantastic walk with you guys a few weeks back.
Yes.
It was a really nice walk, finding those small little eateries in the gullies, talking to so many new people, and of course, food was a great highlight too. And chalte chalte, you'll throw
Mhm.
one truth bomb in between, like the fact that a lot of Karnataka charts don't are not aloo heavy, which was such a ting
Yeah.
moment for me, because charts equals potatoes. Charts also
Yeah.
equals fried, but it also
Yeah.
more often than not includes potatoes. And I think on that walk,
Yes. Yeah.
other than the one Bihari place that we went to, where we had the litti choka and the
Dhuska.
dhuska, except that was the only thing
Wow.
which had potatoes. Other than, there was no other potato in every other dish. It was fantastic.
No, no, actually, even the litti choka, the choka had the
Mm,
potato,
mm, mm.
but even the litti and the dhuska had no potato. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I do think that some of the members in the community are probably more enthused than I am about finding food and sharing this. Look, I had this here. You guys have to try this. Or this did not work out. This sucked. Something like that. But I think I really like the overall intent to just have that unbridled childlike joy
Yes.
without being judged, like, is this authentic, this is the way my whatever, is this the way it's supposed to be made, all that stuff. I found this, I like this, I am sharing it, you may find it fun, if not, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think that is probably the vibe that I get in the group, and I really hope it stays that way, because that is the intention. So strictly no city wise debates कि यहाँ पे ये अच्छा है, यहाँ पे वो अच्छा है. Probably true, but then that is a done to death discussion across multiple
Correct.
groups and
Correct.
platforms. So if you start doing the same thing here, then it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that you got good records for Goa from the group. Lot of credit to folks who captured that very diligently and then put that and share the map without any
Yes,
hesitation with
yes.
anybody.
So I actually started doing that myself. So after being a
Mhm.
part of the group for a while, I was in Delhi a few months back, and we went on a food walk there. It was a guided food tour. with Chef Sadaf Hussain. He does this food tours around in
wow.
the
Yeah.
old part. A beautiful walk, okay? And I'm a vegetarian, so, and very coincidentally, it was the old Delhi vegetarian food walk, which is everyone would be like, kya wahan pe veg bhi
Oh,
milta
lovely.
hai? So the best chole and kulcha. And I diligently added every place. I went on maps. I marked it on my map so that, you know, if anyone asks, tell me where you went or tell me what is the best place, I will tagar be able to open the map and do it. It really helped me when I travel because of,
I'll
because
ask
the
you in
group.
a bit. I'll ask you in a bit.
100%. I have diligently done it. And I should tell
Thank
you
you.
this, Ajit, that
Thank
during
you.
my walk in Delhi, we were a group of maybe some
Mhm.
15 of us. There were two others from Bangalore. Unfortunately, I didn't get their names. But then
Okay.
while walking, we were talking about,
Mhm.
you know, oh, food here, food there, and all of it. And I told them that there's a,
Mhm.
you know, a group in Bangalore. It's called the Thindi group, where it's a great food
Mhm.
walk. Of course, we know Ajit.
Mhm.
We've gone on the Thindi tour with him so many
Oh, wow.
times. So you are not popular
Wow.
just in
Okay.
Bengaluru. You have become like international.
Okay, it's too much. But on a side note, I can't tell who, but somebody messaged me that I mean that person is on a dating app,
Mm-hmm.
and I think two people are trying to exchange some texts before potentially trying to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them said one of my favorite dosa places in Bangalore is what happens to my personal favorite tiffin place, which is called SK Tiffin Room in Kabanpet.
Okay.
To which the other person replied, it seems, oh, have you been to Ajit's Thindi Walks? So this person sent a screenshot saying, even on dating apps, it's not possible to escape this thing anymore. And I really laughed my guts out. It was really, really funny.
Wow, Ajit, you're a part of the whole hookup process also, man.
On a side note, by the way,
Mm.
and this actually is happening. So, I mean, of course, there is the Thindi group
Mm-hmm.
in which people started asking other questions like, what's a good phone? One fine day, there was a very interesting discussion on, it started with a very genuinely curious question. Is it worth having kids in this day and age?
Mm-hmm.
Resources are taxed. It came from a very sort of, I want to learn point of view from others'
Curiosity, just a
experiences.
discussion kinds.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it also got into other aspects like I think there was an element of polyamory that was discussed. There is a
Mm.
monogamy, all that sort of stuff
Wow,
was
nice.
discussed,
Mm. Mm.
and it occupied quite a bit of space. And this was the non-Tindi group where we talk about everything else under the sun. And then I jokingly said, we should form Tinder. It's not Tinder, but Tinder. It's Tindi plus hookup is Tinder. And it turns out that it is actually a group. Like, it's not called Tinder, but there is a WhatsApp group where I think some folks, I'm not allowed, but it's a fantastically moderated group where, it's a strict checks put in place. Make sure you have to declare that you're single, and, you have to share certain basic details. No, virtue signaling or
Mm-hmm.
no judgments. It is just for, group of people to exist in a group. And if you feel like you meet each other separately, stuff like that. So it's kind of funny how this started off as food, and now it's like there are these other things that are happening, which is kind of wholesome and fun.
Perfect. And of course, you have, fitness is a large part of it as well with your running and cycling when you,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Wonderful. Swajit, we have used the word Tindi a few times already in the last few minutes. For several of our listeners who do not know what that really means, please can you tell us what does Tindi actually mean?
It means tiffin item. You can have it for breakfast. You can have it as an evening nashta, whatever.
Mm.
Things like idli, dosa, buns, khara bhat, kesari bhat, patrode. All these snack tiffin items constitute tindi. So tindi
Okay.
aita is a way of not only asking have you had your snack or nashta, but it's also kind of like asking about your well-being, or are
Yeah.
you okay? How are you doing? Something like that. So tindi generally means nashta.
It's also an emotion.
It's definitely an emotion, and that goes without saying.
So, Ajit, when I was thinking of calling you for an episode, I was thinking, what kind of theme can I do? Because Ajit talks about so many things under the sun. Okay, so it's very difficult for me to just, I was thinking, shall we do dosas of the world? So like I said, I was thinking ki kya kiya jaye, and that's when we spoke. And Tagar, Ajit has this funda that he loves to. I don't know whether he loves to do it, but it always happens with him that he always forms a great community around whatever food related experience he has. So, in a call with him that lasted maybe 20 minutes, he told me like so many stories which involved, I'm going to this particular country and there I didn't find something. So, then we made a whole community and then we thought, how do we cook together and what do we do together? The same thing is what happens in Bangalore. That's how the whole group started. Oh, I'm going for a run. What do you want to do? Oh, let's all go for a run together. And then what do we do after the run? Oh, let's all go and eat together at some place. So it always, it's the whole, following a community or making a community or experiencing a community along with eating experience. So we are going to be talking a lot about all these things, a lot of stories and all that. But I'm going to first start with tell me something. So if I have to ask you one of your fondest food memories from childhood. Now, if you ask me, I will tell stories like, in my train journeys, my mummy used to make the best curd rice. And I used to live in the east. And then when we used to come there, the train used to cross Kharagpur. And Kharagpur has the best puri and aloo sabji.
Ooh, okay.
So when if I'm with mummy, I will tell mummy, can you make me train curd rice? Or the train puri aloo sabji, or you have like my tricks and you say, pahadi wali Maggie, those kind of childhood memories, if you think, which circle around food. Tell me something that comes to your mind.
So there are actually several. I think the earliest memory, of course, I have is so my on my maternal side grandpa. He started a sweet shop. It still exists. It's in Tiruvallur near Chennai.
Oh.
And I think as a child, I used to be a terror because I used to like potatoes a lot. So it's like either I eat potatoes or I eat nothing. So I used to go there, and since I am literally from the owner's family, nobody could say anything to me. I would just go there. People are shopping. I would just jump from one counter to another to grab a packet of potato chips, tear it open, and just gobble up like a few packets in one go. So that is one very clear memory. And in that shop, so there used to be this dish called siralam. It is made out of idlis, slightly fried with some turmeric, maybe hint of onion, lemons, curry leaves, and all. And it was called Tata Kade Siralam, which is Grandpa's shop's Siralam. And there used to be queue outside. It was more like distributed as a prasad rather than being charged or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Of course, I didn't have to go through that trouble. I had executive privileges. So, like one big donne full of Siralam used to come for me exclusively. I
My
enjoyed these
God.
privileges. I fairly spoiled grandchild, so to speak. So that is one of my earliest memories of food as a kid. My mom is, of course, an incredible cook. Like, I think anything she touches is like magic. So whatever she does, sambar, arachuvita sambar, vettapandu, etc. So I had grown up eating all that stuff, and I truly, even till date, I'm very blessed that she's there and she makes stuff for me, and I get super pampered.
Oh,
So
man.
okay, so now that is early childhood.
Hmm.
Then I also have few memories from Delhi actually. So I studied fifth to sixth, seventh, and eighth in Delhi.
Okay.
And I remember Delhi has this concept of bazaars named after days. Shukar Bazaar, Shani Bazaar, Ravi Bazaar, things like that. And in Janakpur, it was one of those days. I forgot which day. So almost every week there used to be this routine that in that bazaar there used to be chole bhature, and there was this bottle with a very liquidy imli chutney that people used to either have it on the side or have it with the chole or just drink the thing.
Oh, nice.
So I belong to the third group. So the chole bhature, excellent. Obviously, it's Delhi we are talking about. And then I used to drink copious amounts of imli chutney, and invariably my stomach was upset the next day. But
You're
no
asking for
regret.
it, but
No
probably it's
regret.
worth it.
Exactly. And also there is a very vivid memory. I was down with chicken pox in Delhi,
Oh.
and I was just lying on the bed. And one fine day, my mom's just doing the chores, and my dad was out touring somewhere on his work. And I see a message that a train traveling from Delhi somewhere to Howrah or something has crashed and some accident has happened. Now
Okay.
it turns out my dad was on that train. Luckily, nothing happened. We got a
Okay.
call from
Hmm.
him 2 hours later. He has some minor bruises on his leg, but there were some serious damages to people and property. But thankfully, he escaped scot free.
Wow. Hmm.
And on that day, I also remember that I was extremely itchy. And until that day, I think I was being asked to take stuff like curd, rice, and rub your stuff
Hmm.
with neem and whatnot to
Right.
address the chicken pox. And
Hmm.
on that day, I lost it. I'm like, Amma, I'm sick and tired of garbage food. If I don't get chole bhature in the next 2 hours or so, I am going to eat so bad or that everything is going to relapse. And
Oh
this
man.
horrendous chicken pox. So my mom, obviously, she was already stressed.
Pavam.
Dad was not there. So she caved in. Okay, fine, I'll give you chole bhature. I had the chole bhature, and for some strange reason, within the next 3 days, all the chicken pox went away. I don't know why. Maybe there is something to be explored there. Medicinal properties of chole bhature or something.
I always say if you have a cold, you should have an ice cream because सर्दी सर्दी को काटता है.
Actually, it turns out that even scientifically, ice cream warms your body because it has fats in it. So it screws up your throat. I mean, it's bad
Hmm.
for your throat. But if you want to increase your body temperature, ice cream is actually a good way to do it.
My God.
So you're right. In a way.
So in a way, I'm right. So my mom will do things like that. She'll say, "Oh, I'm having acidity. Let me have pani puri because pani puri they put jaljeera in the pani, right? So that's
Yeah.
good for the acidity, right?"
Yeah.
I'm like, so
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So
Sounds
that's
good.
what secured your chicken pox, man.
That's what I'd like to believe.
Ah. Must street food memory you've shared with us, huh? What other such stories do you have?
Speaking of train journeys, my mom used to have those idlis smeared with modaga podi,
Yes.
and it's very specifically gingerly oil.
Hmm.
So anytime she makes idli and modaga podi, the oil is always gingerly oil. So that smell is something that I associate with childhood and train journeys. So that's unmistakably amma. Even I think few years ago when we were driving back from Chennai to Bangalore with my dad, she packed that, and that is something that I will always associate with Amma
Mhm.
and as a very core food memory. Those are some of the memories that come to my mind, which are unmistakably associated with
Oh,
food.
so nice, man. I love how so many of us will have such, and small story here and there. And then, we'll
Yeah.
get all sentimental and emotional. Oh, how nice it was at that time and things like that. Oh, we used to like for me, I also have memories of, eating the shingaras in the Bengal area. So I come from Durgapur, which is a few
Wow.
hours from
Mm-hmm.
Calcutta. So there you get these small samosas.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of small samosas because you can have like
Mhm.
three or four with
Yeah.
lesser amount of guilt.
Yeah.
Oh, I have such so many memories.
Very
Okay,
nice.
so when you were talking about many of your tata's shop, and then you said that that the particular idli that you said almost like a fried idli-ish equivalent.
Yeah.
You said it was almost given away like prasadam, right? So at that point,
Mhm.
I thought of a question that I wanted to ask you. So a lot of my love for going to temples is because I love the prasadam in that one specific temple and this
Obviously,
one
yeah. Yeah.
specific temple. Taragar, if I
Yeah.
ask you, tell me a few of your favorite temple prasadams in which temple and all that, would you be able to tell? For example, I can start off.
Ah. Mm.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
I love the chakra pongal that you get in Tanjavur and all. I love the chakra
Uh-huh.
pongal there.
Yeah.
Chakra pongal is a sweet pongal.
Yeah.
Then you get tamarind rice, puliyogare in many of the
Oh,
temples.
yes.
Oh, I skip lunch and I go there just to eat the temple puliyogare. It is that amazing.
Yes.
Late last year, I went to Coorg,
Hmm.
and there were these two really old temples in Coorg that I went, where a friend of mine who lives in Coorg, she had told me that, these are very, very old temples. Go at this particular time, do all your worshipping thing, and then you must have the prasadam lunch. I have not had better sambar in my life. It was that good,
Oh,
that
wow.
good.
Okay. Very nice.
And very simple, just like copious amounts of rice with lot
Hmm.
of sambar and one small thing on the side or something. Beautiful, beautiful, and so clean and well managed.
Mhm.
I mean, for my listeners, I'll definitely link up this particular temple in the show notes. So you definitely must go to these
Definitely.
two and say. So I have given you thinking time, Ajit. Now tell me, what are your favorites?
So as a child, I don't remember much, but
Hmm.
two things that come to my mind are one is the Melukote temple's Puliyodare, that is
Hmm.
out of this world. Then, of course, there is a Ranganatha Swami temple in Sri Rangam. That Puliyodare is also fantastic.
Oh,
And my parents are based out of Adayar, so there is a Ananda Padmanabha Swami Koil there, and their
okay.
Pongal, the standard Pongal
Oh.
Prasadam, that's
Hmm.
brilliant.
Hmm.
And in Hornadu, there is this Annapurneshwari temple.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're done with visiting the statue, there is a lunch that they serve. They serve a very nice tili saru with anna, the rasam and rice, which
Oh.
is truly outstanding. So,
Oh.
these are some of the things that come to my mind immediately.
Even the Kadha
And really
Prasad
very
in
good stuff.
Gurudwaras are like so
I have
nice.
had that. So I have had it once, but for some reason I am not able to recall, matlab, with the same amount of passion and joy that I'm able to recall other
Oh. Hmm.
instances. I have had it once in my life. This is the golden temple
Yeah.
we are talking about.
Immediately run to Gurudwara now.
Yeah, maybe Amritsar someday, and then one put one run for Thindi kind of scene, and with a
Yes.
few people do some
Yes,
stuff.
yes,
Yes,
yes. Oh, Amritsar also is like one. You'll fly when you are in that place, man. It's such a lovely place to eat. Oh my God.
I can imagine
Insane. So that's one place where when we went and stayed there, I chose a hotel without any breakfast meal package. I said, I don't want to have breakfast in the hotel. I have to go and have one day kulcha here, one day
that
paratha there.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It's you should
Yeah,
not
makes
waste your
sense.
meal time
I
for
know.
hotel breakfast in such places.
Yeah, this is like flying into a city and having the airline food for breakfast or something. It's just meaningless.
Yeah, it's just utter nonsense.
Makes sense.
Yes. So tell me, so in the so many times you have, done your Thindi walks in Bangalore and, even self exploring these places, I'm sure you have your own favorites. You don't tell,
Yeah,
I mean, but if I tell you, tell me the best, there is nothing called the best. It's always my best or my favorite. So that's
yeah,
fair. But tell me some of the unique
yeah.
places that you have, discovered, either unique in terms of the taste or the people that you have that who own the place. And again, not
Okay.
necessarily Bangalore. It can be. I know
Yeah.
you have some love for Bombay and you have love for Calcutta and for the in the food
Yes.
scene per se. But tell me some of those.
Okay. Wow, there are a few of them, right?
Tell all of them. More the merrier.
Sounds good. So let me start with my favorite dosa place in Bangalore. It's a place called SK Tiffin Room. It's in Kabanpet.
Mm,
And one fine day, I was going for a jog, and I wanted to end it with Chikanna Tiffin Room, which also happens to be in Kabanpet.
mm,
And so this half marathon is like 21.1. And as I was approaching Chikanna, so you enter through the Halsuru police station side, there is one lane that takes you into Kabanpet. Then you have to take a left to head to Chikanna.
mm.
As I was about to take that left, I looked at my running watch and it said 20.8. So
Oh.
I had about 0.3 kilometers to go. So I'm like, okay, let me not take
Mm,
this gully because I figured it would end and then it's a pain to come back and all. I just kept going further. And then I thought, okay, instead of taking a left here, go straight, take a left, take a left, take a left, finish that loop.
mm.
Maybe that's 0.3 kilometers. I'll finish off
Correct.
21.1.
Correct.
So as I turned left,
Mm.
this huge crowd literally blocked my run. I was extremely pissed off because
Oh.
when you have to brake hard when you're running, and maybe it's one of those days where I got pissed off. I
Mm,
didn't say or do anything,
mm,
but I was
mm,
just pissed off with the circumstances.
mm.
I said, oh, it's 21 on the dot. I have like 100 meters to go. What the hell?
Okay.
So I hit pause and I had to stop. And then I turned and say, wait a second, this is actually a queue for a food place. I remember
Oh.
this because it was exactly 8:25 in the morning. And I looked up and it says SK Tiffin Room, Ganigarpet, Kabanpet, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine, let's give this a shot. So again, I just resumed the run.
Mm,
I went to the entrance of the gully and came back 21.1 on the dot done. I ended my run happy.
mm.
So they have only four items on their menu:
Oh,
idli,
perfect. Mm.
chitranna, tomato bath, and dosa varieties. So in
Okay.
dosa, they have khali dosa, masala dosa, and they have a bath masala dosa.
Okay.
That's it. and it's run by this very cute couple. The gentleman Rupesh will, do the distribution and filling the plates and stuff, while his wife would cook behind. And it's like a house, so there's a curtain
Wow.
behind which there is a stove. She'll make busy dosa. I
Hmm.
actually had the masala dosa, but that guy said there is a like a 20-minute waiting time. I was starved. Give me something else. So
Hmm.
here I have idli, I have tomato bath and chitrana. What do you want? I said, okay, give me an idli and some tomato bath.
Okay.
And I was not in the mood for chitrana that day. The
Hmm.
minute I put that tomato bath in my mouth, I was blown away. Like, oh my God, what is this? The right
Wow.
level of spices, incredibly hot and fresh. It comes with a terrific chutney. It's unbelievably good stuff. And then came the masala dosa. I had it and I'm like, what did
Oh
I
my
just have? And
God.
I just devoured it in no, it perfectly roasted, golden perfection. The taste is unbelievably good. So it's one of those doses which somebody shows me in blind, I will identify this is from SK Tiffin Room. Like in Bangalore, you have this CTR has its own that yellow plate and the bende masale. Vidyarthi Bhavan has its own style. To me, SK is like that. I can pick it from a lineup very comfortably now. So if you have like 10 to 20 different masala dosa, I will pick if SK is in that lineup. It's that consistent, right? And then, of
That's a
course,
very
you
big deal.
yeah, I fell in love with the place. And then, since it's close to one park, all the running shenanigans we used to do. So there's an inside joke saying that the purpose of fitness capital is to eat more often at SK Tiffin Room because you somehow coax people to run in Kavan Park and then go to SK. Right?
I think it's fair. It's fair.
I'm completely on board with that. So that's why we take a poll. Do you want to run in Lal Bagh or Kaban Park or wherever? And anytime Lal Bagh wins, I personally boo that poll. This poll sucks. This is why we should not be practicing democracy. We should just say we are running at Kaban and just decide time, and that we can go to SK Tiffin Room. Of
Oh
course, it's a
man.
different story altogether that even from Lal Bagh, SK Tiffin Room is just a 4 kilometer affair. So once we actually finished at Lal Bagh and went to SK.
Or at the 17th kilometer, just get out of Lalbagh and run towards the SK Tiffin room. Oh,
Exactly.
wow, wow. Okay,
Exactly.
SK Tiffin room rocks.
So this is one thing that truly was one of those life-altering experience.
Hmm.
But the real deal happened when I had the bath masala. So
Hmm.
in this, the tomato bath is tucked inside the masala dosa.
Oh.
That combination is unlike anything I've ever had anywhere else.
Hmm.
And I don't understand that in this day and age, how does that masala dosa sell for only 50 to 60 bucks is the price? It is unbelievable. That bath masala is 70, 75 bucks. And what I really
Hmm.
like about the place is that they're not on Zomato. There is zero advertising. It's located in the middle of nowhere in Kabanpet. But those who know the place start queuing from 8:20 and they shut down at 11:30, by the way.
Oh,
And by
wow.
10:30, 11, the doses are over. So you have to deal with idli, rice bath items, and that's it. And they don't open for the rest of. There is no evening business and all.
Oh, there's
These
no
are the
evening either.
timings.
No
No,
evening dosha is
no,
there.
no.
Wow.
This is it. They open at 8:30. They're done by
My
noon
way or
flat.
the highway. It's awesome. I love it. Such confidence.
No branches, no Swiggy, no Zomato. It is a very quintessential Bangalore thing, and they don't want to scale up. There are no branches. So what I like to call is that the lot of these iconic or cult places in Bangalore practice what I call anti-advertisement and
Mm-hmm.
sort of so because usually places go out of their way to advertise about themselves. And you have a lot of places in Bangalore that do the exact opposite. I mean, you take a Brahmin coffee bar as an example.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody who's trying to follow Google Maps and locate the place, the name board is so worn out that they've not made any efforts. It says it's since 1970 or whatever, and it's I get the feeling it has not been repainted since that 1970. It's that old, but they don't care. They still continue to serve 4 5 items with a tea, coffee, and queue moves fast. Fantastic food. They don't care if some influencers says this is great or someone says this is overrated. What nobody cares because they have their regular patterns. this is the amount of food that I will make every day. I will take a break in the afternoon. No branches, no expansion. These are my timing. This is my real estate. This is my food. Please come and enjoy. Otherwise, find something else. It's as simple as that. At one point in time, my favorite Bende Dosa place used to be in NR Colony called Sri Guru Gotureshwara Davangere Bende Dosa.
Okay.
The name board is only in Kannada, and it's a very small shop. It is so easy to miss. Like in spite of it being one of my favorite places, I have passed it numerous times, completely, unable to locate the place. But
Yeah.
again, those who know the place, they'll come crowd the place anyway. So these are what I call example. Usually, if you're an establishment, you're looking for more people to come in, more customers. Try to jack up the prices of it. These places are exact opposite. Like I don't feel like putting an English name board. It's written in Kannada. If you can read it, please come. Otherwise, I don't know, find some other place. So some of these things are very fascinating to me.
Yeah, it really is. And that way, this day and age,
Yeah,
everything has to be on Instagram.
exactly.
Everything has to be beautifully put up. It's not just Instagram. Then
Yeah.
you have these, food
Yes,
photographers,
and these are
one chutney splash and all
supremely,
that. These
yeah, yeah.
guys are just not there.
Yes, so, some of these are
I
not
love
on
it.
Swiggy and Zomato, and these are completely rundown places. So that is one place. SK is one of my
Mm.
favorites. Then,
Favorites. Mm.
of course, there is this place called Chitranjan Mishtan Bhandar in Kolkata. I
Oh.
When I
Mm.
went for the first visit, I visited that place around 4:35 in the afternoon, and I
Mm.
said, Rasgulla, then Rasgulla khatam ho gaya. So along with me, there were 10 more people. Huh? Because they could not believe. Because they, of course, they advertise themselves as the Rasgulla Walas of Kolkata. So I'm like, it kind of
Oh,
sucks.
okay.
So I had
Mm.
Rasgullas. I had some terrific Rasgullas, right? In Kolkata, like every place was bloody good. So I started with
Yeah.
Naveen Chandra Das. So all that stuff, I had very, very good
Mm.
stuff. I was incredibly happy. Second trip, I made a point to start at Chitranjan. And when I popped that rasgulla in my mouth, I realized that I have been missing something in life. Like this, for me
Wow.
personally, just hands down, one of the best things I have ever had anywhere, any cuisine, anything on this planet. I popped that rasgulla in my mouth
Wow.
and like, what did I just have? It's like, it's one of those things that changes your life kind of a thing. And then before
Wow.
I know, I've already popped in some 5 to 6, and they're so light, so flavorful, so
Mm.
delicate, so delicious. That I don't know. I don't have the words to describe those rasgullas. And then another thing that I learned after visiting Kolkata is that when people Bengalis say there is nothing like that fresh chena sandesh.
Yes.
Whatever you get packaged, non-soft ones, they're good, no doubt, but I mean, not a patch on the fresh chena sandesh. And I found out after visiting Kolkata why people say that. It melts in your mouth. And I must say this, nobody on this planet does stuff to milk like Bengalis and Odias.
I 100% agree. Oh my God.
There is no deep frying, there is no dunking in too much sugar, there is no
Yeah.
flour. It is milk, the chena from the milk, tiniest amount of sugar, but so many techniques that
Yes.
are centered around creating these delicacies. It is truly, truly mind-boggling to me as to how it's possible to create something so amazing with just milk at
Yeah.
its heart.
And varieties of it. You have chena
Exactly.
podo pita, you have
Absolutely.
all the shandesh, you have rasgulla.
Yeah.
So many, so many. ये तो मैं सब ऐसे ही तीन बोल रही हूँ. In fact,
Yeah.
when we used to live in that part of the country, I remember if mom had to make any sweet, we used to just go to a sweet shop and buy fresh
Exactly.
chena from there,
Oh
and
God.
she'll make her own thing at home with that
Yeah.
chena.
Absolutely. I mean, it is truly
So nice.
unparalleled. I mean, I can bet money that on this planet, nobody does stuff with milk better than West Bengal and Odisha. I mean, hands down. So that was a big eye opener for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Ah.
and
Mm.
so that is one of my
One
favorite
more.
places
Mm.
on this in the world. Then let's see.
Mumbai.
Mumbai, I mean, I have fallen. So I used to not be a fan of Vada-pav. because I am like, what is this between vada? There is carb. You are deep frying aloo and putting it.
But aloo, your favorite thing in the world is aloo.
It used to be as a kid. Now I'm okay with aloo. I mean, I like aloo, but it's not like I can't live without it. Like. So then, of course, after visiting a few places in Mumbai, I have fallen in love with the snack. It's now reaching like, Shah Rukh Khan, Juhi Chawla, Dar level of obsessions with the vada pav is what is happening. So now it has become a point where I'm in a WhatsApp group with very good friends Vipul and Rupal. So I have a ritual: get on flight and skip the flight food, land in Mumbai, and then
Of
take
course.
Uber, because that allows you to add a stop in between. So between hotel and airport, I have a vada pav place that I have bookmarked. एंड दिस ड्राइवर, अच्छा एक और स्टॉप है अभी, ये कौन सा जगह है सर, ये तो मैंने सुना नहीं है। नहीं, ये सिर्फ वड़ा पाव का दुकान है, आपको 2 मिनट रुकना है, मैं वड़ा पाव लेके आ जाऊंगा, कार में खा लूंगा, आप फिर होटल चले जाना। हाँ ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम। So I have to go to the vada pav shop, take a picture, and then post it
Oh,
on the group. That means I have landed in Mumbai.
and those poor friends of yours will be burning with jealousy because you are saying the best vada pav ka
No,
photo.
Vipul lives in Mumbai, but yeah, Nupal also has hair, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
It is, of course it is.
So I have fallen in love with the snack.
Me too. I adore vada pav. So I was in Bombay middle of last year, and then it was evening, and evening means, so if I'm visiting Bombay, I have to have vada pav. Evening, morning, anytime. I was in a random auto. I said, भैया मुझे वड़ा पाव खाने का बहुत मन कर रहा है, मुझे कोई अच्छे वाले कोई भी वड़ा पाव वाले के पास रोक दीजिए. He said, okay, madam, चिंता मत कीजिए. And then he went into some gully, and I'm seeing the map. It is not seeming that we are going the right direction. So I'm like, भैया बहुत traffic है क्या main road में, that you're taking me through such gullies. He said, no. You said you wanted vada pav. Now I'll take you to my favorite vada pav place. So he took me to his favorite vada pav place, which is not a restaurant or anything. It's not even a shop.
If it's a restaurant and vada pav, I don't know about that.
It was a thela wala, and then I asked him, do you want one as well? मैं अपने लिए ले रही हूँ. Do you want one as well? He said, no, madam. I always have at night only. So this is my post-dinner midnight snack. I come here and I have the snack. तो आप इस टाइम पे खा लो, मैं रात को आके कभी खाऊं. And it was so good. I wish I had bookmarked it at that time. It was so good. It was somewhere around that Goregaon areas, what I remember.
Okay.
But oh my God.
And also I realized that my life had been a lie, in the sense that usually people make a bunch of vadas, they just stick it in a pav and just give it to you. Fine. But here in Mumbai, the pav is anywhere from warm to piping hot. It is never room temperature or cold. That is the biggest kind of wow moment for me when I started having vada pavs in Mumbai. And I, of course, initially I lucked out with, when I showed up, they keep making it in small batches. So I've had vadas straight off the kadhai, and okay, maybe that's why it is hot. Now, as one specific example that I really appreciate the way they look at food there, right? So I'm after work, I'm trying to get back to hotel. I had skipped lunch because I had a very heavy breakfast. Now I want a snack, naturally vada pav. So I put a stop once again. And on the way to hotel, and this cab person stops, and I said, I'll just grab a vada pav and I'll come back. And I just go. This place is called Akkacha Vada Pav. It's somewhere in Thane. And I go there, sir, एक vada pav दीजिए, यहाँ खाना है. And I looked at the supply. There were 3 vadas remaining. He could have chosen to give me one. He said, नहीं sir, आप wait करिए, गरम गरम बन रहा है. I really appreciated that. I really appreciated that. So my cab person is calling me saying, भाई क्या हो गया सर, 5 मिनट हो गए, क्या हो गया? मैं देखिए वो कह रहे गरम बन रहा है, मतलब आप थोड़ा वेट. अच्छा नहीं, आप आराम से खा के आइए. तो कैब वाला also understand कि okay, this is the way it works in these places, that okay, अगर गरम बन रहा है तो बन रहा है. So this guy से आपको कुछ एक्स्ट्रा चार्ज होगा, मैं दे दूंगा, आप थोड़ा 5 मिनट रुक जाइए, आपको चाहिए तो बताइए, आपके लिए भी ले आता हूँ. नहीं, मेरा खाना हो गया है, आप आइए आराम से.
Was it the best?
It came fresh off the kadhai, and then I got one with the sukha chutney, and that was again one of the best I've had in Mumbai.
Yeah.
One more example. Sorry, we'll have to go back to Kolkata. There is very famous shop called Girish Chandra De and Nakun Chandra Nandi. They are one of the Sandesh shops and sweet mishti shops in general. So I was just sampling some stuff, and there's a family that is having a conversation with the owners. Uh, so I want to take
Hmm.
this in flight to Delhi. And what do you suggest?
Hmm.
How do I do this? So he's like, don't do it. I was shocked because they actually were looking to get 2 kilos. I think this guy could have easily said, that take this, pack it this way, make sure you take it that way, blah blah blah. So he said, don't do it. He was blunt. And that really blew my mind because this is not just,
Oh,
it's not like making a sale.
yeah.
It's about taking that pride in their product, in their sweets, and not wanting to compromise that experience, because that to me is an iconic place for that very specific reason. I was truly blown away. So I really like that kind of clarity that you have.
So I definitely identify myself as a Bengali. And all these Shondesh and Roshogolla stories that you are narrating is making me smile year to year. Tell me, so what other places can you think of?
Then there are a couple of places in London. So I've spent time in the US, having my
Ah,
reasonable share of international food, particularly Italian. I love my pasta and pizza.
oh, I know you make great pasta marinara sauce, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes. I have followed your recipes and all that. By the way, everyone should go to Ajit's Instagram account. I'll add the link in our show notes and all that. So,
Thank you so much.
yes, yes, yes. Tell me, tell me.
So I had
Hmm.
the good fortune of going to London for some work. It's
Hmm.
actually in Bedford. It's about an hour, 15-minute train journey from London. When I had pasta there, I realized that I've been living a lie all these days because, of course, this is my personal preference.
Hmm.
Because in the US, it's very large portion slash fat forward, not very flavored forward, in my opinion. Maybe, of course, this is an average restaurant scene as opposed to a super fine dine kind of a scene.
Got it. Hmm.
Whereas in London, I realized that it's extremely flavor forward. Portions are very the right quantity, lot of emphasis on freshness, etc., etc. And there is this place called La Tua in the Borough Market. It's
Hmm.
literally like a shack, and they have a few pastas, they have a few sauces, and they top it with a cheese. So I remember, I think I had there some ravioli and then with a tomato sauce
Hmm.
and then some parmesan. That's it. And when I put that thing in my mouth, it was again one of those, what did I just have? My life has changed for the better. It was best pasta I've ever had anywhere in my life. That, and there
Oh,
is another place called Banconi, where my sister-in-law had bookmarked
okay.
Bancona.
Hmm.
So there's a queue at 11:30 onwards. Why? Because, so let's say this is the entrance, it's a glass door. And at the entrance, all the chefs are making their pastas from scratch for the
Oh,
service.
my.
And there's this one very specific pasta that they make is called ravioli alla uovo. So what that means is, so you have the sheet pasta,
Yeah.
you pipe in a potato filling,
Hmm.
and there is a little mound on which they drop in an egg yolk, and then they cover it and they cut it. That's the ravioli. And when they boil it, and they just either serve it with a simple sage butter or any other choice or whatever they have chosen to prepare on that day in terms of the sauce. Uh, Mine was with parmesan and truffles, so it was truffle season. So I had some fresh truffles shaved on the pasta. So when you cut it open, the egg kind of yolk oozes out gently, and with the potato and the pasta once again. When I put that thing in my mouth, I'm like,
Again, life changed, Ajit.
yes, my life changed several times in London.
Several times in London, several times in
Yes,
Calcutta. Acha, nice life.
yes. Bangalore also. I mean, a lot of places have changed my life. Eh? Then another place is, it's called Padella. It's
Hmm.
it's also in Borough Market.
Hmm.
So my sister-in-law and I had dinner. After that, a tiramisu is a must.
Yeah.
So it's a huge chunk of tiramisu that they plopped on a plate.
Hmm.
When I put the spoon inside, it's so airy, the mascarpone,
Wow.
and there is proper lady finger, the Savoyardi biscuits inside, etc. It's so light and airy. Again, when I tasted that, I have never had anything this in my life, and I still haven't had anything remotely close to that anywhere else. I mean, I've
Wow.
not been to Italy, obviously, but that's a bucket list item. But any fine dine restaurant, it could cost me 5,000 to 50 rupees. I have never had anything that even remotely matches or comes close to what I had on that day. That's it. It was
Wow.
truly out of this planet.
Oh, wow.
And of course, see, I'm a tam who grew up across different places in India. And, when I moved to Bangalore, I thought dosa is dosa. Why? What's the big fuss?
Yeah.
And my Nandu's family introduced me to the Thindi culture in Bangalore.
Oh.
Particularly my sister-in-law Pamu. And why are people fussing about it? Because yeah, it's like a thin crisp. You just dip it with chutney, sambar, and you're done. So I remember my first visit to Vidyarthi Bhavan. Again, when I saw it, okay, this looks interesting. When I put that thing in my mouth, I'm like, what did I just have? I'm like, okay, sold. This dosa is awesome. And
Vidyarthi Bhavan is good. It's very good.
I mean, over the years, I've had good days, I've had average days, but when they're on their game, that is truly out of this planet kind of stuff. Truly, truly outstanding stuff. Eh?
Ajit, I must say the women in your life are rocking. You talk about your sister-in-law who's taking you to great places, your mom who has made great dishes, your wife is introducing you to Thindi. I'm getting a nice vibe about your life. Huh?
Yes, I have been super fortunate.
All your examples are such nice examples.
And it's true. It is true. And so that Vidyarthi, and then what's a Davangere style dosa? What's a Mulbaglu style dosa? What's a neat dosa? What is a standard Udupi style dosa?
Oh my God. I had Mulbagal style dosa only because of you, Ajit, by the way. You are the one who introduced me to it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Currently, it's my favorite style of dosa.
Good choice. That's the Vasavi one, right? The one in Malaysia.
One in Malaysia, yes. It's so good. So there are varieties and varieties and varieties of, dosha. You have mulbagal, you have davangere benne, you have neer dosa, you have regular dosa, and then you have ones with dill leaves and all permutation combinations.
Every time it was my first time sampling these things, I'm like, my life has changed. So I kind of now tend to take that aspect in Bangalore for granted. That I've had at these places many times, that I love it. But I remember for the first time when I started having these things, I truly felt like it was a life-altering experience for the better. And now, of course, the walks are a great way to share the joy.
Yes.
And have these various kinds of themes. And so all this happened for maybe 2-3 years. Until I had the next sort of life-altering experience, which is the Mailari dosa in Mysore.
Tell me more.
Vinayaka Mailari. I don't know how to describe it. See, it's a very soft dosa. It's not like a very heavy, crispy dosa. It's a softish dosa. And it's served with it's not very heavy. It's just served with a tiny dollop of bread.
Okay.
There is a very characteristic aftertaste in that dosa, and it's served with sagu, usually not with sambar, palya and all. Chutney and maybe a sagu. So when I had that dosa again, I'm like, so I had it. It did melt in my mouth, and there was a very characteristic aftertaste. Which I fell in love with. And that is again something you find in only one place in Bangalore, all of Bangalore, which is like the dosa capital of the planet. And yet the Mysore Mailari style dosa, you find it in only one place in all of Bangalore, which does a good job of that particular experience. So it is truly fascinating, through food, how many such. I am sure there are many others. Other examples that I'm unfortunately forgetting. But that's the thing, when you try to explore new things and new types of food, especially within our own region, you are bound to have these life-changing
Correct,
kind of
correct.
experiences.
No, no, definitely. By the way, which is the name of the restaurant that you are referring to? The dosa.
Mysore, it is Vinayaka Mailari.
Mm,
It's on Google Maps, and in Bangalore, Mysore Mailari Hotel,
okay,
there in Girinagar, it's
okay.
Banashankari.
Mm,
We covered that in one of the recent walks.
okay.
So yeah, that is a kind of dosa which is truly, truly outstanding for me.
Oh, wow. Okay, Ajit, I have like two questions that is coming from here. One,
Yeah.
what is your method to this madness? How do you find all these kuti small places? This is insane. How do you, like, for example, when you go on a walk yourself, like when you're just strolling around, do you enter every single place and try
Mhm.
something small from there, or does a place give you a
Um,
vibe for you to go in and try? These are very small places. They have big queues and all that. I
yeah,
agree. But still, for you, for someone to
yeah.
discover places like Baswangudi, Banshankari, Malleshwaram, they have too
Mm.
many of such small places. I would even say Whitefield does, but Whitefield has many, many other.
Yeah, it has its share, but
Yes.
very few places. But Whitefield does have some
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how do you
Okay.
find a place? Is there a method to your chaos and
So
madness?
some no, no, I'll be honest. I do follow the standard influencer folks.
Hmm.
There is Bangalore Epicure, So Bengaluru. There are a few people that I follow religiously,
Lovely.
and they also do an unbelievably good job of finding hole in the wall kind of places. So
Completely
there are a
agree.
lot of places that I have found thanks to them. Now I have this kida that when I have some free time, I'm going to just take a stroll in this area.
Hmm.
So a couple of places will be kind of, these places I have to sample. I've never tried them. But on the way, I will say, oh, this gully, that looks something interesting. So I'll go check it out. If I find it interesting, I'll bookmark the location maybe for some other time. So through walking, I've also come across a few places through influencers. But how it all started was, I think, I moved to Bangalore in 2010, and
Hmm.
2010 I also moved from Jayanagar to Whitefield after spending 3 weeks there.
Okay.
Now itself, Whitefield is borderline sucky. Back in 2000, then it was ridiculously
Ghost
sucky.
town types area,
There
nothing.
was
Correct.
nothing. Yeah. So, but I used to run from Whitefield to various parts of Bangalore, and as I'm walking around, I'll come across these chotu places. I'll just write them down or just take a note. I'll take a picture with a location enabled, go home and say, okay, this place I should try at some point in time. So for a good 7 to 8 years, every weekend that was my ritual. Pick a day, Saturday or Sunday, run to one place, have food, come back. So that kind of helps. And then, of course, as you start interacting with people, they say, you should
Yeah.
try this
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
place. How this kind of fun. This at that place is really, really
Hmm.
interesting. So one thing that I kind of love about Bangalore is that a lot of these places don't have a set offering throughout the day.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
There are some things specific to morning, some things very specific
An evening
to
snack and all of that.
evening.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
Exactly. And that kind of keeps things
Hmm.
fresh and keeps customers coming back for more. So that is something also I kind of enjoy. CTR, for example, their masala dosa is obviously legendary, but their goli bhaje is
Oh,
severely not
oh,
talked about.
Koli Bhaji.
True, it is one
Hmm.
of the best ever, like anywhere. Like you can combine Mangalore, Udupi, whatever. CTR's Goli Bhaje is equally amazing,
Life
right?
changing. You can't use amazing, Ajit. Life changing only.
It is, yeah, it is one of those life-changing things. So it's like finding these, not only just going and trying places, but also understanding these various idiosyncrasies. I'll give another example. It's a very funny example. So I keep making fun of my friends in Maharashtra that you are fake fasters, because the fact that you have an entire menu for fasting
Best.
food is
I love their fasting menu. The best sabudanas.
fantastic.
Mm.
Exactly, right? It is quintessentially ironic.
Yeah.
So there's a place called
Mm.
Panshikar. It's in
Mm.
Villaparla, and it's fairly close to the airport. I wanted to try misal pav,
Mm.
and I saw what is called farali misal,
Mm.
and I said, "Sir, farali misal diyega." So now it's a misal, but it's for the fasting thing. It is way heavier than the standard misal, right? So at least the regular misal has grams, sprouts and dal-based things with
Yeah.
some farsan
Hmm.
and a gravy. This one has potato and a peanut-rich gravy topped with potato lacha, and I'm like, okay, good. And then I asked for
Hmm.
pav. Pav milega, nahi milega. It's very why? Because it's an upwas
Oh.
item, so you can't have pav because pav is flour, and you can. I just thought about this. I can have this thing laden with peanuts and potato. That is
Yeah.
perfectly okay. But like a light airy pav, no, that is not part of the deal for upwas. But I mean, I kind of laughed on the inside. I ate the mission. I mean, no matter what. Although I could have, in principle, asked for a vada pav and then left the vada, taken
Correct.
this pav and dipped it. No, but I didn't want to upset
Uncle's heart
anybody.
would have been broken if you had asked for vada pav iske baad.
I have the feeling that folks there will give you a piece of their mind rather than bottle it up. That person would have given me a nice dose. No, I mean, from whatever I could gauge the elderly gentleman. So I'm like, okay, let me not mess things up.
Nice.
I mean, there are way too many such instances where through food I have had this, life changing or aha moments.
Yes.
But hopefully, I don't know. As I remember more, I'll probably share. It's remarkable how food can change your life in so many ways.
Yes.
You think you know, and yet every single day, every single visit, you learn something new. You gather something new. It's kind of amazing. It's really really
Yeah, I
amazing.
often ask people that, while traveling, we do meet a lot of people over food, or we meet them during a walk and all that. So this one question I always ask: do you remember any phenomenally good conversations or instances that you've had with people, during your travel or something? But in your case, you have made the community. So, I mean, for example, just the two of us talking right now are strangers who have met over, your Thindi walk and having this conversation. So in your case, I would add another additional caveat. When you're traveling abroad, tell me some of your stories. Where you've connected
Okay.
with strangers, where or what did you do together, and things like that.
So, I mean, work takes me to Kenya every now and then. And when I go to a place, I make it a point to not pack stuff from here because I'm sure you can, manage for a week or two
Yeah.
easily.
Hmm.
This was a solid 4 week assignment. And few people cautioned me that, okay, if you're vegetarian, there may be some struggles. I just dismissed it off saying, no, no, that's probably because people are not open enough to try new things. And when I
Hmm.
landed,
How
and
many years back is this?
this is a good 5 years or so back.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
So I just remember landing, and then, you know, and this is not even
Hmm.
Nairobi. This is in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Rural Kenya. And every second place is what is called a nyama choma, which is a grill which is extremely meat heavy.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And then we went to the company's guest house. And then I saw day one, it's like, there is a potato sabzi and with some peas, and there is cabbage and a carrot palya, and there is chapati. There's a little bit of rice, and I'm like, what are people talking about? This is
Hmm.
fantastic. It's pretty good. Day two, mashed potatoes, peas, carrot, and cabbage palya. Okay, maybe something seems to the
Oh,
crack.
permutation
And by
combination.
day three, those combinations were exhausted. I'm like, okay, hang on, time out. What's
Next
going
day, he has to make aloo paratha with this.
on? So then they said these are the only vegetables that we get from the central facility for the
Hmm.
guest houses, and so this is pretty much it. And what do you mean it's pretty much it? So then I decided to convince one of my colleagues to give me a ride to the local supermarket. It was a good 12 kilometers away.
Oh.
And there are things there. There is eggplant, there's bit of tofu, there's canned tomatoes, there's actually lentils out
Oh.
there. So I and some spices, etc., etc. I got like a bag full of stuff for the next 3 weeks. And then we sat with the chef there, and I said, okay, look, chopped onion, throw in some tomato puree or whatever. turmeric, salt, garam masala. This is a quote unquote North Indian gravy. So these are
Correct.
the phrases that I despise using, but I had no
Hmm.
choice there. So this is a North Indian gravy. Then I said, okay, now if you crush in a couple of cardamom, some cinnamon, and throw in coconut milk, it's a South
Oh,
Indian gravy. You can put boiled eggs in that and bunch of other veggies, goes better with rice than chapatis. Then I said, instead of regular oil, you put olive oil, only less onion, lot more tomato, bit of garlic, and they had some, I believe they had some thyme or something.
okay. Hmm.
Put it in there. This is pasta sauce. So you can put the cooked pasta in this and toss it with some cheese or whatever. So now we have these three kind of mother sauces or whatever. Then I had soy sauce in the mix. So we have soy
Chinese
sauce,
भी बन गया.
vinegar, tiny bit of tomato puree, Chinese bhi ban gaya. So these four things, North Indian, South Indian, Italian, Chinese.
Chinese.
And in case साथ में यह भी set come. So next 3 weeks went very smoothly.
Hmm.
But one of my colleagues, his name is Sridhar, and he's like, Ajit, I've had enough of this stuff. I need proper South Indian meal. And I'm like, okay,
Archivittu sambar over there, is it?
exactly. That was the ask.
Huh?
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
There was no pressure cooker. So we had to soak the lentils, kind of boil it and boil the crap out of it in the microwave. And then I realized that that much scene is not happening to make sambar and all. So we made rasam.
Huh.
We made then I said kalanda sadam.
Hmm.
So this there is lemon rice, there is coconut rice, and there is some tamarind rice. That, and we also made some birinji rice, which is coconut milk. We kind of caramelized at the bottom a little bit. All those turned out all right.
I'm impressed, man.
They're like, how can you do so much with just rice? So I told, okay, this is extra stuff for you guys. In case if somebody else comes, these are things to try. So it was kind of fun. So we had a nice feast that day. 4 rice items, some rasam, plain rice. There is yogurt there, of course. It was a nice feast. It was a Sunday. We ate and we slept, and there was some good stuff.
Oh, that is a belting day, man. That is like a solid,
Yes.
buffet wala type thali ho gaya, ekdam beautiful.
Yes. So we managed Kenya quite nicely.
Wow.
And there is this other example in Turkey.
Hmm.
And I was traveling with a colleague. She's a Gujarati. So just like Karwa Chauth, where I believe the idea is that the wife prays for the longevity of the husband and fasts and stuff like that.
Hmm.
There is something equivalent for women who are not married, and they have to also look at the moon, fast, and then break their fast, have some food, and then offer some water into a river.
Oh.
Now, her parents are very particular that she followed that ritual. And sadly, she had not packed any food to break the fast with.
Hmm.
And she's panicking and borderline in tears because she's trying to convince her mom that, do I really have to do this? I could sense that she's upset.
Hmm.
So I'm like, what happened? It's like, I'm supposed to have this kind of food with these things. And she gave a huge list of what cannot be in food.
Okay.
So I looked at the list and said, what if I told you that there is an item out there which fits the criteria that you have just shared with me?
Hmm.
Can we have a chat with your mom? Tell her that we are in Turkey, we have this item, and if you approve, only then we'll feed this to her. It turns out that the item was Ferrero Rocher chocolate. And then we called the mummy, and then we said, look, you said it should not have this. It doesn't have any of this. Can we feed? So she also said, ye aap khila sakte ho. How many people get to break fast with like
Oh
chocolate
my
chocolate?
God.
And now this is close to 10 p.m.
Hmm.
Thankfully, the place next to our hotel had a stream that led to the Black Sea.
Okay.
And that stream is river, it seems. So
Hmm.
like fools, we are, I have to accompany her because it's 10:30 at
Hmm.
night. And she's looking at the sky. It was a cloudy day. The moon was not visible. She's standing with her lota. I am standing her, keeping an eye on her just to make sure she's safe like a fool. And here, passerby
Wondering what is
watching
the
at
scene
us,
that's
laughing at
happening.
us. What are these idiots doing this late? Then I told her, see, okay, I don't know. I don't think the moon is going to show up. maybe you have to deal with a subpar husband in your life, but let's please end this and just go back to the hotel. But that was also a very interesting incident, how we solved for food and somehow made that ritual happen
The
in
Ferrero Rocher,
Turkey.
oh my God. Added one more statement like how there are such tasty vrat items, there are tasty vrat breaking items also here.
All communities are fake fasters. I am convinced that. But at least Maharashtrians are upfront about it because look, we have a menu of 20 items which are aligned
Yeah,
during
yeah, yeah,
fasting. I like
yeah.
that.
I love it too. So I enjoy their sweet potato. They make a lovely sweet potato chaat with
Yes.
some peanuts on it. Oh, I'm really fond of it. Of course, and all the sabudana vada and they have an alternate to namak also. So everything is taken care of. It's like so absolutely perfect. Tell me something now. I'm very fond of festival connected food.
Oh
So
yeah.
for me, my one of my favorite test would be Durga Puja ka jo bhog milta hai. And I have no idea. It is just khichdi and it is sabji and it is chutney. But when you
Yeah.
eat bhog, it is just something else. So and there are so many others like that. I mean, not just in India. If you think abroad, you have your turkey and then you have your Christmas dinners and you have so many other things. Tell me a few of your favorite festival related foods as well as experiences that you've had either while eating it with people or making it yourself. Tell me some that you can.
It's kind of interesting you ask this because I think mom would take over cooking more or less for
Hmm.
festivals, and it used to be elaborate in the sense that there used to be an extra vada out there, there used to be an extra payasam out there. So okay, see, I personally love this combination. There is a Tiruvadara. I don't know what the festival is about, but I know the food. There is a koot which has to have an odd number of vegetables,
Yes.
5, 7, 9, 13, whatever. That's a koot. And there is a kali which is slightly sweet.
With some jaggery.
Yeah, and the kali is, I think, made of broken rice or whatever. And then that combination I really, really enjoy. So that is one specific festival food that I
Yeah.
thoroughly, thoroughly
I
enjoy.
love it too. I love it too.
Oh yeah. Other than that, it's like there is the sambar is a bit arachivutta because it's more indulgent, and there is a usual vada payasam stuff. There is of course Kolkata with Puliyar Chaturthi. That is a very, very distinct
The
festival food
modak
that
equivalent that is the korkote. Oh, I love it. Oh
yeah.
my God.
So that is something I enjoy thoroughly, and of course, speaking of celebratory occasions, not festivals. So
Hmm.
at my wedding, for
Hmm.
the first time in my life, I had chiroti with badam milk. So that was another life-changing moment. So in addition to getting married to Nandu, so there was another life-changing moment that is the chiroti and the badami halu. I really, really loved it. So there was a point in time when I used to have one almost every week, like weekend, just go somewhere or ask my mother-in-law to just buy it and make that stuff. It was really, really
Yeah.
good.
Oh my God.
Then maybe not festival in the religious sense, but there is a festival that is actually centered around food, which is kind of fascinating,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in Maharashtra and Gujarat, they celebrate the fresh jowar called ponk,
Of course.
and
Oh my God. Yeah. It's a winter thing also, right?
exactly. So I've had the ponk bhel at Som, which is truly out of this world. And then of course here back home we have avare bele parshe. So you have avare bele dose, avare bele obbattu, avare bele ice cream, avare bele chaat, avare bele jalebi, avare bele mosar kot bale. So it celebrates the seasonal produce. So it's not a religious festival, but
Yeah.
it is a festival nonetheless.
It is a festival, of course.
So that is something I absolutely enjoy. Like Avre Bele is one of my personal favorites. It's truly very, very versatile ingredient that can go seamlessly into chikkis, ice creams, savory sweet items
Yeah.
effortlessly. So those are, and I vaguely remember when I was in Gujarat, we celebrate Holi
Hmm.
as part of my dad's companies. We used to live in a society and we used to celebrate Holi. So after celebrating, there always used to be gujias.
Gujias.
That's also another festival food that I really enjoy. All good stuff.
Oh, nice. when you spoke about the curry and kutu, so we call it curry and curry at home when at our place when it's made on Tiruvadare. It is a very unexpected, weird combination in your head, but it somehow goes together, right? I just don't understand. So, what are the other some kind of weird? I'll never call anything yuck, but anything weird food combination. You have all these influencers will show these weird ice creams with something else and all that. I'm not going to that level, but other weird things that you've had and you've liked maybe.
Bhat masala is a very classic example, right? Because you won't think, why would you put rice in dosa? I mean, rice is rice, dosa is dosa. Why bring the two together? But they go together so damn well. It is a ridiculously good combination. That bhat masala, like the so there is the either if it doesn't matter if it's mudanna palav, it's chitrana, or if it's tomato bath tucked inside a dosa. It is truly an outstanding sort of, but fine. At least it's savory, so you can pair it together and kind of enjoy that. There are few combinations that I was not personally sure of, but now I like them. Like puri amras is another example.
I know. I somehow don't get the combination, but I love it.
It is brilliant. Uh, okay. One thing I have to mention, I didn't conceptualize this right. So there is a place called Amarnath Chaats in Bangalore, and they make what is called an ice cream bhaji. Now, when you think about it, it's like, oh my God, they take ice cream and they dip it in the bhaji batter and deep fry. That sounds like crap.
Yeah.
So, they don't. It's a very clever dish. So, what they do, they take a scoop of ice cream, coat it in a crumbly batter that is made of maybe a little bit of uh, some flour, some butter. It's like a pie crust kind of a crumbly batter, and they freeze it. And in front of you, they flash fry it. So they put it in hot oil for maybe 30 odd seconds. You have to eat this in one bite. So don't try to take a bite out of it. It won't work. And when you put it in your mouth, the outer casing is hot. It's a very neutral taste. And inside is this nice ice cream. It could be vanilla, strawberry, or whatever. It's really like an amazing experience. Because the batter has no real flavor as such. The idea is to do is like an ice cream pop, like a literally ball of ice cream with a hot skin on the outside. Then they do the same thing to a choco bar. So they're gonna take a choco bar, flash fry the choco bar, and give it to you.
Yeah.
And of course, you are getting it for some 30, 40 rupees on a street side stall is truly
That is
outstanding
insane.
for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, initially I thought there is no way this is going to work, but it works.
Yeah. This
Very
choco
well.
bar frying thing I had once in Edinburgh as well. And that is one of those you
Okay.
must try food side store-ish thing. And ek bar to khana chahiye because it is a weird combination in the mouth. Like garma garam bahar se bite karoge thanda thanda ekdam ice cream andar. And the consistency is there when you're biting into it, which is great.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think just for the sake of curiosity and science, one should try it. But I want to try this with a scoop of an ice cream.
That is called bullet.
Wow. Okay, then on this note of this bullet ice cream, let's take a short little break and we'll be back for more stories with Ajit on the other side. Hey, do you know we have recently launched a travel journal? A journal that is perfect for everyone, no matter your age, where each page includes a fun prompt to spark creativity, whether you're writing, drawing, or sketching in little memorabilia. Pick one for yourself, gift it to your friend, or even to a kid. It'll be a keepsake where your favorite moments will live and where a silly sketch will bring back a whole story. You'll find the link to order the journal in our show notes. Happy journaling and thank you. Welcome back for our second round of Thindi conversations and food conversations.
Thank you.
So what happened was between our round 1 and round 2, there was a weekend that happened in between.
Yeah.
And we went on a dosa walk on Saturday. So
nice.
it was so fun.
Way to go.
So we went to a bunch of places. We started with airlines because we wanted to start with a sit-down place. And of course, we were there. So had to have the benne masala over there. So we started with airlines, then MTR and had one more dosha there. It was very nice. And then we took a small break.
Space in MTR at that time of the day?
I don't know actually think we went just pre-lunchtime or something. Like we
okay.
had timed it such that correctly we went. So then we took a short break and we went to the Tipu Sultan Palace near KR Market. It is a very, very beautiful place. And then we went around Malleshwaram. So we went to Veena
nice.
Stores,
Very nice.
CTR, and
Lovely.
ended the day with Mulbagal.
Very nice.
And we were so full that we thought we'll just have like one dosha between three of us. We had one masala, one podi, one idli, and one sabudana vada. Oh my
Sounds good.
God.
That's a lovely place, yes.
It's a really nice place. So my cousin Maya from the US was in town. So she lives in Chicago, and we took her for this specific food walk that I was referring to. Maya was doing a project in India for which she had to travel across many cities and experience a lot of different things. So she said that there were two soul-stirring experiences from her entire trip to India. One was the lovely Golden Temple in Amritsar, and the other was having mulbagal dosa in Malleshwaram.
Wow, okay.
And she liked it so much, so much.
Very nice. And
Credits
I
to you.
think the relative is from Chicago. You could tell that person this is the deep dish version of masala dosa because it is actually a deep dish kind of.
It is. It's made in one of those appam pans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ajit, good morning. Thindi ಆಯ್ತಾ?
ಆಯ್ತು ನಿಮ್ದು
ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, so there were a bunch of things that we spoke in our first round of conversation, and I had another huge bunch of things. I mean, for me, if you give me the time, I can just go on and on and on like that.
Same here.
You are a beautiful storyteller, तो मुझे तो मजा ही आ रहा है सुनने में.
Thank you.
So Ajit, earlier today, before we actually started recording, you had mentioned that you are more of a lunch person.
Yeah.
So tell me some of the best, in quotes, meals that you've had, which is like a thali or a meal, that kind of thing.
So two things kind of diametrically opposite come to. One is the Madhve Uta, of course, anywhere. I mean, I've attended most weddings in the south. So the Karnataka style wedding Uta is something that I absolutely love. So I remember my wedding, it was in Bangalore, and that meal is unforgettable because that's the first time I had, chiroti and badam halu on top right before the curd rice. So usually I'm used to having curd rice, then dessert because the meal is over. Let me have something sweet. This is the first time when the meal was interrupted with two desserts. One, at some point in time, there is holige or obattu, and then there is this one also. And of course, what I really like is the like the regional flavors, like the goju with the whole sweet sour thing going on, and the fact that it's made with different things like bitter gourd, pineapple, or even an orange peel goju that is very famous. So it combines this bitter, sweet, sour, and that's a terrific combination. Um, that's one of my personal favorites. And there is, so these things I really look forward to. The huli or the sambar that is made in weddings, it's absolutely amazing. And it is nothing like the darshini sambar. They're very, very different. In fact, regardless of which place you go, the sambar that's made in hotel and homes are extremely different.
Correct.
Right. So I thoroughly enjoy that as well. And of course, their usual, the palyas and the saru, etc., that also I thoroughly enjoy. Same in, TN. When you go to TN, there is a wedding tiffin, then there is a wedding lunch, meals, etc. I thoroughly enjoy those as well.
I often like the breakfasts more because then you'll get one shave, you'll get dosha, you'll get vada, you'll get all of them. I somehow love breakfast.
And then when you're almost done with that, like a fluffy puri they'll bring and then they put the masala or the sagu. It's hard to say no to that also.
It's hard to say no, and within 3 hours they'll say, "Okay, lunch is ready." What do you do?
I know. Exactly. And then the other memorable example is, so when I was in grad school in Florida, there used to be this place called CC's Pizza Buffet. And the concept is kind of fun. And this we are talking like early 2001, 2002, right?
Okay.
Where I think India had barely started with pizzas, let alone like a pizza buffet. And here I was in the US, and the idea is you enter the place, you at that time you had to spend about close to $6 to $7. And if you convert that, even if it is $500, what you get for that is incredible, right? So your Coke, Pepsi, Fanta, any soft drink is unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
Then you enter, there is like a basic salad kind of a part that is unlimited, and then you sit down, and then somebody will come ask you what kind of pizza you'd like, and then you get
Mm-hmm.
to tell them, I want a pizza, half of it with cheese, half of it with mushrooms and olives or whatever you want. They will bring that to your table. You can finish that pizza, and then you can ask for another pizza. May I have another pizza with whatever full same topping or half and half. They will bring that to your table. You can have that and ask for another pizza. No
Oh
question.
my
And
God.
no judgment, but nobody's going to look at you and say, "Oh, you're eating two pizzas all." No, they are happy to feed you. As a matter of fact, if you are done with pizza, then there is like a white sauce and a basic red sauce pasta that's also bottomless. Then you have like a dessert pizza, which is this humongous cookie like thing that is cut and kept in the form of
Oh.
wedges. And then you have bottomless brownies. All this, no questions asked, bottomless. And I've had a few meals there. I mean, the amount I ate is like ridiculous, but no regrets though. If I were to turn the clock back and change anything, I would not, because I thoroughly enjoyed that as well.
Oh
But the
man.
kicker was, since we were university students, we got these coupon booklets, and one of the coupons was buy a pizza buffet at CC's, get another one free. So the cost comes to half. So imagine all this for 350 to 400 bucks is like, I don't know, it is
Insane.
insanely cheap.
Oh my God. By the way, as you were speaking, I just Googled CC's actually filed for bankruptcy a few years
Yeah,
back.
I think now I can understand why. The business model was kind of geared towards. But there is this other joint in Georgia called Sweet Tomatoes or something. They are
Okay.
also operating on this buffet concept, but they have an extensive salad bar as you enter. And their
Okay.
salad bar is really nice, and has a lot of variety, different types of lettuce, tomato, corn, mushroom, decent quality of ingredients, and then they
Oh
take it
wow.
like a soup and a bread and a dessert kind of thing. So no pizza, pasta types. So it's a healthy-ish version, and that at that time used to cost. This is, we're talking 2007, 8, around $10. But
Oh.
everything is unlimited. But the food was great. And of course, you have to have Andhra means, obviously. So I remember Nagarjuna, like I've had a couple of times. That is obviously memorable.
Yeah, very, very nice. One of my
Uh,
favorites too.
so yeah, buffet types. I think those are the memories that I have. And then of course, I remember. Okay, there is this. I mean, you have these Rajdhanis, and
Oh
I
yeah.
remember that we were shifting homes. And
Mm,
after sending the truck, after packing, my wife and I, we went to Rajdhani, and I think I was in the mood for something sweets, and they
mm,
had rabdi jalebi. So
mm.
I had, after the bottomless stuff, I had like 10 to 12 jalebis, and the person was very sweet. Sir, do jalebi or लीजिए ना. I'm like, boss, अरे sir लीजिए ना. And then suddenly he brings also malpua, sir ये भी बनाए, ये भी लीजिए. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
fine.
lovely.
People tend to overstuff me, which is fine. And that was also
All the
a
love.
distinctly memorable kind of experience. But yeah, most of them revolve around wedding meals and these, which are needless to
Yeah.
say bottomless.
Mm,
So yeah, those are some of the core memories of some fun meals that I've had in life. I'm sure I'm
yeah.
missing a bunch of things, but I'm just sharing as I'm remembering.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So college time is when, we eat like the craziest quantities. Like,
Yeah.
so we had gone to this place in Calcutta with a huge bunch of friends, and whenever we used to go with this huge bunch of friends, we'll definitely go for a buffet place. Ate and ate and ate and ate, and then those guys came and said ki bas karo yaar, aur band ho gaya hamara buffet, can you please wrap up? But they were very sweet, and they said, I hope you really enjoyed, but सच्ची में हमारा खाना खत्म हो गया, can you please wrap up करके.
I have to share this. Okay, so I studied in Surat, engineering, I
Hmm.
mean the NIT Surat. And
Hmm.
I remember there was a place outside or opposite practically the railway station. This was a good 20 plus years ago, so I've forgotten the name and all.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at that time, for 40, 45 bucks, there was unlimited meals. And they'll bring these mini samosas, gulab jamun, khichdi, papad,
45.
roti, sabzi, etc. The Gujarati
Wow.
dal, which I absolutely love. The Gujarati
Yeah.
curry, once again, that I absolutely love. And then you have some puris, you have chapatis, you have,
Oh my God.
bajra rotla and all.
Mm.
So I can't remember. There was four of us sitting on a table. So they lay down stuff in these tiny katoris and they start putting the small rotis.
Yeah.
So he put one roti to one person, second, third, fourth. By that time, the first person was done. So one more. By the time so he did that three times, and then he asked us to wait and I'll come back. So that day we had food like we had never seen food before. And then we went back to college and told our batchmates, look, yeah, there is this place and it's incredibly awesome. And for 40, 45 bucks, you're getting all this that is unheard of. So few
Correct.
people went there and they, oh my God, this is so good. And then it turns out after a month, just for our college kids, they increase the price of the thali by 15 bucks. Nahi ho pa raha humse. So you can have the food, but you have to pay more, it seems.
So their board will say thali price for everyone. For general is 40, for
No, they'll ask you,
NIT.
are you from SVR? So at that time, it was known as SVR, Sardar Vallabhbhai Regional College
Mm,
of
mm,
Engineering and
mm,
Technology, SVR city.
mm.
Now आप SVR से हो, हाँ, 15 रुपए ज़्यादा देना पड़ेगा. And okay, fine, still worth it.
From SVR charging you extra to going to Georgia where you get 50% off. My God.
Yes.
Development वहीं पे हो
America,
गया.
America works very differently.
I know, I know. So for me also, if you one of my favorite thali places will be a Gujarati thali place, which is in Bombay. And I remember you had mentioned this earlier in our conversation as well about the meal that you had in Som.
Oh yeah, I love so.
I love Som. It's one of those places where you get like a good variety of Gujarati food.
Yes,
You get, I mean, actually
absolutely.
like OG Gujarati food and all of it.
Yes.
I love Som and I love going for their thalis.
Hmm.
Extremely good.
Absolutely.
Okay. What about so you had mentioned a few of your favorite places that you have been to in London as part of your a lot of food exploring thanks to your
Yeah.
sister-in-law. Which
Mhm.
are the other destinations that you've been to where the food has been, absolute top-notch highlight for you from that particular vacation, or a Thindi walk that you have gone, in that place, Thindi or any other food walk?
Ah, I think city-wise, of course, I had a chance to roam around Kolkata a couple of times. But I
Yes.
think like one of those army ant types, I sampled a bunch of places and I had a time of my life. So yeah, Kolkata very distinctly I remember because see usually what happens is with sweets it becomes very heavy. Right? You
Mm,
think of sweets like jalebi, badusha, laddu, barfis. It is very challenging to have maybe if you have one of each you're kind of done more or less. If
correct,
it was
correct.
full, some of them are terribly sweet. And I'm not a person who enjoys things like a badusha or a son papdi, things like that. So that way Kolkata is fantastic because the sweets are a super light, super fresh, and the sweet amount of sugar is just perfect. It's actually the chena that's the hero, which is just accentuated by a little bit of sugar and anything else like a noleng, good
Yeah.
little bit of cardamom, whatever. Right? So that way, I remember I walked from Soa Bazaar all the way till what's it, Tireti, where the Chinese restaurants are there. So I
Mm,
sampled
mm,
about
mm, mm.
8 to 10 places en route, and that is something I absolutely enjoyed. So the different kind of rasagullas, and that is how I kind of zoned in on Chittaranjan. That was by far my favorite. It's like I say, was a life altering experience. Like, how can something so simple, so cost effective, can actually be this good? And I don't know, it is a great example of this saying that good things in life don't cost much. I mean, you just go to Kolkata, enjoy that piece, the Korai Shuzi Kochuri,
Oh
Luchi Aloo Dum,
yeah.
Radha Ballabi, and I really like that cholar dal, which is has a slightly sweet tinge to it.
And coconut pieces in it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
good.
absolutely enjoy that, right? So, and what I also enjoy is having the same thing in few places to figure out what works for me. And so I did a couple of walks in Kolkata. These were like solo walks. So I ended up walking anywhere from 10 to 15 kilometers and then hogging like that.
Nice.
And then I went to this place. Remembering names is not my strong suit, but there is this one,
Mm-hmm.
this Tele Bhaja place where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had Shaw Lakshmi Narayan Shaw. That's the name of the place, I believe. So I
Okay.
had Dokar Barfi, very interesting things. And the prices are insane. Like some this much of budgies cost me only 20-25 bucks. I'm like, this is not possible. I think he's either not charging me for a few things or he's zero. And the bunch of places where I absolutely enjoyed having food. So Kolkata is definitely one such place.
I remember the thread that you had put out on Kolkata when you went, when you were back from there. I bookmarked that thread because I was going to Kolkata, for the Durga Puja just after, and I went when I was there in Durga Puja. I opened up the thread, and you know what? I'm born and brought up in a place not too far from Kolkata, so I've gone a lot of times to Kolkata when we were growing up. A lot of these places I've been to when I was a kid, but then I
Mm.
enjoyed going through your thread to relive a lot and then going, ek 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 karke to most of them. So the thread was a really good one.
Thank you. But there's a bit of a backstory to this. So I
Hmm.
go to Assam for work.
Okay.
So I work on tea, and Assam is where a lot of tea grows, and so I
Mm-hmm.
have to go to Assam every now and then. And how this happened was, I think the direct flight from Bangalore to Dibrugarh got discontinued. So I had to go via Kolkata, and the timings were not working out. So it's happened in such a way that I had a layover in Kolkata on day one afternoon, and day two morning I had my flight to Dibrugarh. So the minute I booked this flight, which was 2 to 3 weeks before the trip, I started researching. I'm like, okay, I have a day in Kolkata. I mean, why the hell would I, rot
Waste it,
near the
yeah.
airport? And exactly. So I asked people, I looked up online, went through Instagram, and I had this extremely carefully planned itinerary where,
Wow.
okay, I start now, Soa Bazaar, this, Novi Chandra Das, then Chittaranjan, then I had this plan, and I was so happy that I was able to execute that plan flawlessly, like 100%, the kind of timing I had planned. I was incredibly happy.
Oh my
The
God.
only thing that I couldn't do is it was a weekend, and on that day, there is a place, there is an old market where you get Bandel cheese, which is
Okay.
unique to West Bengal. That shop was closed. So I wanted to carry some home because they also have good shelf life apparently. Other than that, food wise, absolutely smashing time.
क्या बात है rock. It makes you feel so good, right?
Yes, I mean, I don't mind just going to Kolkata and doing that same thing all over again. It was damn good.
Damn
So
good.
yeah, Kolkata, yes. London,
Mhm.
of course. I had the time of my life again. Mumbai, I have been exploring recently. Thanks to friends like Vipul and Nrupal. It was really really good.
We've spoken a bunch about things that you've eaten in different places, but we've
Mhm.
also touched upon a little bit about your own cooking and the fact that you enjoy cooking. And I've
Okay.
seen that, on your Instagram videos, how you make bunch of things and all of it. I also know that at one point of time you've taken cooking classes, or rather, you used
Hmm.
to give out cooking classes, like you were the tutor.
So I think this came as an offshoot of COVID. I mean,
Hmm.
COVID days, it was truly maddening at times because work was fun, but the
Hmm.
thing is, my work involves a lab and machinery. So work from
Hmm.
home has actually very limited applicability for me. So
Oh.
as a result, work was well. I must thank my employer for making best use of me. I also tried my best to create any new additional things. But
Mm-hmm.
having said that, apart from work, there are these side things that came. I think
Mm-hmm.
largely due to Instagram and what I used to post there. So somebody reached out from company X, can you just take a basic class? I
Okay.
remember this happened with, I believe, Marico. So they said, can you just take a class? So I ended up using Saffola oil that Marico
Oh.
manufacturers, and we made some stuff, and it was with baking or something. So the
Mm-hmm.
baking 101, we made some muffins and stuff like that. And then I think one more company reached out, and in general, I think I did maybe 3, 4 such classes. One thing, I remember this thing very vividly. One class I had is, see, when you watch lot of cooking videos,
Mm-hmm.
lot of the prep work is done beforehand. It's like, are you bored? Are you in a hurry and do you want to make your lunch or meal in 15 minutes? I'm like, boss, come on. Bloody, I am trying to
Correct.
get process my onion, and if I'm not having the luxury of having peeled garlic at my disposal, just whacking that and then taking the skin off, all that crap takes a bloody washing spinach and washing the mud out of coriander itself is a 5 minute affair. How the hell are you planning to make meals
Yes.
in this? So
Mm.
I did this thing where I made a Karnataka inspired meal. I made
Oh.
like a saru, a palya, a
Mm.
goju, a paisa, and rice. No prep. Like none of the, oh, look, I have kept these things weighed nice. Tang, tang, tang.
Yeah, everything in small, small, small cups and bowls and everything, it'll all be ready.
Yeah, I made this meal in an hour. That was kind of fun.
Wow.
Even I was surprised. Yeah, so we had like 5 minutes to spare. So, I mean, I did mention that, time management is kind of critical. So, the biggest thing is you keep the rice first. So, that
Hmm.
does its thing.
In
Then,
parallel.
yeah. And then you essentially plan it in a way where you figure out which is the most time consuming stuff. Then, goju needs to boil off for a long time.
Mm.
So, that was happening on the side. And then there is a saru. So I made the tomato saru, thankfully, for which you don't have to boil dal and all necessarily. And
Okay.
one palya. Payasa, I said, see, it's a simple semia payasa. You can't make rice payasa and all. Semia payasa can be done another 20, 30 minutes tops. Like nothing too luxurious, just the basic version of it. So I had 4 stoves, all of them busy at most of the time. But in the end, it was kind of nice. You had a very hearty meal. And then, of course, I took the curd out of the fridge and said that's an added item if you feel like. But it's like a
And then you
nice
can have
hearty
pickle and
thing.
all that.
Yeah. So it was a nice uta that's ready in like a hour, like
Nice.
an hour. That was super fun. Um,
Oh, really cool.
so yeah, that was kind of adventurous. How I got into
Mm-hmm.
cooking is a kind of an interesting story. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was heading to US for my grad studies, and
Mm-hmm.
then I realized that I need to have some basic cooking. So I asked my mom, who taught me
Uh-huh.
how to make aloo gobi and semia upma. So, and she used to teach at a school in Chennai. And
Mm-hmm.
every day when she came back, I used to give her semia upma. Amma, I made this change. Amma, I made that. She got sick of that same crap for like the 4 days. Even I realized, okay, I'm overdoing this thing. Dinner for the next 4 days, aloo gobi was one of the things. And we got sick of that also.
Your
So,
mom must
so, so
love you. 4 days of aloo gobi.
so that's how it's, and I also got a little lucky because I went to University of Florida for my grad studies, and
Mhm.
there I think the way it worked out with my roomies is we were 5 people in a 2 BHK. It's a typical grad student life,
Correct, correct, correct.
and
Everyone stays cozy.
yeah, yeah, I like the use of the word cozy. And I think 2, 3 of them hated cooking, but they didn't mind doing the dishes. The couple of us were exact opposites. So I'm like, yeah, fine. Oh, this is great. We used to go to there was, I believe, Win Dixie was one of the supermarket chains. There was a Indian store. There was Publix.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to get groceries from all these places. Then I realized the availability of stuff is fantastic in the US. The whole global cuisine. You want to try Chinese, you want to try Thai, you
Mm-hmm.
want to try some Italian, of course, Desi, Mexican. The range of cuisines was very wide for us to try. And that's how I got into extensive cooking. I also realized that veg food in general, if I eat outside, was on the expensive side.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly when, see, at that time I was young and I obviously compared. So, compared to meat, veg food with equivalent hearty quotient was more expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not as nutritious, right? So, I then figured, and I had put on quite a bit of weight thanks to the food choices I made then. Uh, So I then realized, okay, I need to take matters into my own hand, literally. So in addition to running and stuff, I also ended up, fixing my own meals. So that kind of helped with stuff. But yeah, I think overall US was the main catalyst for me to cook.
Mm.
And I truly had a lot of fun making things there. I remember in Florida we used to have potlucks and all. Somebody used to bring
Oh,
puliyogara, somebody used to bring lemon rice, somebody used to bring rasam, and some of the things we made at the particular person's apartment. So then I realized that I enjoyed cooking a lot. And when I came back to India, of course, being that typical person who has come back from the, oh my God, I'm not getting good parmesan here, blah blah blah. But
oh,
then I
yes,
realized
yes.
that of course, now things have changed. But I'm talking 2010, where at least I didn't have the kind of access to things that I have today. At least I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot has changed in the last 15 years. So I think then I realized that as I, thanks to Tindi and the kind of curiosity that it sparked in me, so I started using the same ingredient in so many different ways that I kind of started focusing my energies there.
Mm.
And then that also gave me a sense of, so okay, so today, as an example, I had made hummus 2 days ago. And I am
Okay.
realizing that it is getting to a point where, it won't last for another 2 days, even though it's refrigerated.
Okay.
So what
Mm.
I ended up doing is I took oil, I chopped some onions, and I then used this hummus to make the gravy base. I personally love soy chunks. So before adding the soy chunks, I add a
Oh.
bit of chili powder, some roasted jeera powder, and
Mm.
so the hummus already has a bit of pepper, chili, quite a bit of garlic, and that tahini.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
and chickpea is a natural thickening agent. So when you just add chickpea, cook it through with some khara pudi and these soya chunks, it turns into a very nice creamy gravy, and the flavors work
Mm.
well. So even Nandu was like, "Oh, this has come out quite nice." So
Oh.
I have this sort of developed maybe a knack for what works for me at least. And usually Nandu is also very forgiving and flexible when it comes to food. So it worked out quite nice. So I guess that due to cooking for all these days, I and experimenting and stuff, one of my signature dishes is actually a result of an experiment. I call it like a gongura and mushroom tokku. So I love
Okay.
gongura,
Mm. Mm.
and I was making gongura. I don't know what got into me, but I had these two packets of mushroom that were lying around. And Nandu actually is not a fan of mushrooms.
Okay.
So I realized, okay, what to do with them. Fine, I'll just add this to the tofu. It will make it a bit hearty. So onion, chilies, tomatoes, gongura, mushroom, basic spices, nothing too fancy. Some maybe roasted fenugreek powder, little bit of coriander powder. Gongura lends the sourness, bit of turmeric, and quite a bit of gingerly oil. And then I
Okay.
keep cooking this for a long time. It simmers for maybe an hour and a half, and it becomes this nice concentrated tok. And when Nandu had it for the first time, she's like, "This is one of your signature things. You should keep making this every now and then."
Wow.
And it came out actually really well. So it's like, when you have a rice and a big dollop of this toku, your meal is sorted, sort of. It's kind of nice. So yeah, I guess a lot of such things have happened.
Oh my God. Oh, I see that your little son is following your footsteps in cooking, Ajit, being the sous chef in many of your cooking videos that I see on your Instagram page.
I tried to get him into, but now I think initially he took some interest, but ever since
Hmm.
he realized that he has access to these toy cars, that's the day when kitchen took a back seat, like a car,
Oh.
and he was in his Lightning McQueen phase at some point in time, and then, but now he's at a stage where he
Hmm.
can fix a basic sandwich. So
Oh, not bad.
he switches on the gas, toast the bread, and then he can smear some stuff. Done.
Oh my
So
God,
that's
not
good.
bad.
More or less unsupervised. But yeah, I need to get him into cooking like full fledged.
Yeah, yeah, not bad at
Go
all.
for it.
So tell me something. Why not restart this cooking class proper?
Ah.
It's fun. It's really good 1 hour stay being together and just make the cooking all these things.
I think lack of time is the biggest reason because
Hmm.
I think okay. So also when you didn't have to go to office and expend the physical effort, you kind of compartmentalize your time where after a
Yeah.
certain point in time of the day you are done with your work. At least I can at some point in time afford to check out of work.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Now it's like also yeah, I think that's and Abhay has started classes, so I have to be involved with that part, at least
Hmm.
keep in touch with what he's up to, things like that.
Yeah.
So
So it's
yeah,
probably time.
life from after
Hmm.
COVID has been very very different. And
Hmm.
I unfortunately also in my own ways very sluggish or lazy when it comes to deviating from my routine. If I don't see a pressing reason, I would like to just stick to my routine and have fun with it. The only exception to that is the Thindi walks. That is
Cindy works
something
that you nicely
that
do regularly. Yeah, I
that is
love it.
something that really I something I look forward to. And also
Ah.
off late, folks from an organization or something have asked, why don't you do a food walk for us? And I'm like, okay. And then South Bangalore is
Mm-hmm.
also comfort for me. So I end up, but I mean, no complaints though, because I can eat at those places anytime, no questions asked. So
And it's a
that
right
way,
running distance for you as well to reach the place.
it works. So yeah, now what I do is I take an auto up to Domlur flyover or maybe that Yemlur signal, and then I
Hmm.
start running. That's a kind of a comfortable run for me. Anywhere from 15 to 10 to 15, 16K. That's a nice, good run. And I work up a
Hmm.
nice appetite, then bat nicely.
Perfect. Hmm.
And but having said, okay, when a lot of people ask me to do these walks, I think there's this stand-up comedian Rohit Shah had come in town, and he
Mm-hmm.
was doing this. His tour is called Illuminati. So on his Insta, he has some excellent videos, really, really hilarious,
Uh-huh.
where he shares his genuine feelings on like a chocolate lava idli, that kind of stuff. So he genuinely tries people to dissuade from making such kind of things, and the way he narrates is fantastic. In fact, it is so cool that he has named his tour Illuminati. So he thinks that there is a secret organization called Illuminati that's out there to ruin idli for everybody. So then I thought, when he is in town, I reached out to him saying, "Hey, I am doing this idli themed food walk just for you.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to join?" He was really sweet enough to join. And we had some fun, of course. We went to Shivalli, had the Kadubu idli. Then there is a
Hmm.
standard ghee pudi tatte idli. Then there is, we couldn't cover all the stuff. There is a sabudana idli as Shetru Mane Tindi. Then there is a sabaki or dill idli at one of the Kabanpete style tiffin rooms. Then there is
Mm-hmm.
Rava idli. Then there is a vintage Bengaluru Aki Rava idli that is perfect for Dippu and all that stuff. So there was a very nice idli themed walk that we did, in addition to other things like neer dosa and all, because that is something that people are not exposed to that much. So the idea is
Mm-hmm.
to go beyond the standard stuff that you see on social media, which is sadly full of, you take a dosa, you just spray it with a ton of ghee, and then it's this golden, dripping with ghee kind of stuff. And then you plop a dollop of benne, and then you call it, oh, this is whatever Karnataka or Bangalore masala dosa,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is so
Podi idlis with, yeah,
but
I know what talking
yeah,
about.
it's a very, very, very small subset of what Bangalore or Karnataka is about. But
Mm-hmm.
so we try to do that kind of myth busting with some of these things.
Nice.
And of course, there are a couple of guys, especially Deepak in the gang, who
Mm-hmm.
tries really hard to do meat-based food walk,
Yeah, yeah,
not veg,
yeah, I
not veg.
noticed.
So he takes people around these military hotels and biryani places. So you get a share of it. Hats off to Shivankar, who has established two really, really good traditions. One is Sankranti. So he will take
Mm-hmm.
people out for a walk for some traditional Sankranti food. And he does this really awesome during Ramzan time. He takes people to
Okay.
favorite town. I mean, I can't describe because I don't take meat, but everybody who goes there, they have a ball. I mean, the food is
Gaga about it, yeah.
fantastic. And that is also one of the relatively less explored food related facets about Bangalore. So really hats off to some of these people who are super active on the community and do a really terrific job of really covering the rich diversity that we have in our food.
I am genuinely very fond of going on or having such festive time experiences by going on such kind of walks. But because I'm a vegetarian, Ramzan is one festival where I am unable to go or experience this on the roads of many of the cities because
Yeah,
I will barely
I
get
totally
anything
see.
to eat. So I think I've been
Yeah,
there a couple of times. Maximum you'll get probably is a naan or something. But so I don't really
yeah.
go that
No, I
often.
totally get where
But
you're
I
coming from.
wish.
Yeah.
I remember I was in Jordan during Ramzan. I had the best dry fruits that's possible.
Oh,
It was just phenomenal. The dry fruits during Ramzan time over there were just alag level. But I had a friend who was a meat eater. He was flying the entire time. The entire trip he was like in on cloud number whatever possible. Nine is
very
like
nice.
barely anything. He had a great time. My God. Okay, now the second thing that I was telling you, the multiple threads I was saying, right? When you're traveling here and there, like you said, you love going to Calcutta, you love going to Bombay, bunch of places you mentioned, so many different places. Do you collect one masala from there, one sauce from
Absolutely.
here, one something else, and then
Yes.
put up your magic?
Oh, yes, absolutely. 101%. So when I went to London for
Hmm.
work, I went to UK and
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I went bonkers over the cheese scene there.
Oh.
Supermarket, I mean, I think my check-in luggage had almost 15 kilo of cheese. Maybe not 15, but close to 10 for sure.
Okay.
All
Little bit
kinds of
exaggeration is
cheese.
allowed.
There is
Wow.
Emmental, there is I know a lot of British cheeses, Leicester, British style aged cheddar, Munster. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff. And there was excess luggage. I actually threw some decorative crap that I was carrying, and I threw my clothes. But I
Because
made sure,
priorities.
yeah, absolutely. And I think next 1 month was like a cheese overload. I mean, Nandu got sick of it 3 days into the whole thing. I had fun. I had good, so I had good pecorino, parmigiano, all that stuff. So I ended up making carbonara like a few times, not with guanciale, but it's a whatever
Hmm.
veg version of it.
Hmm.
I mean, the egg goes into the making, but I mean, I went bonkers with the cheese. So yes. And then, of course, now I've been traveling to Mumbai, and thanks to good friends Nrupal and Vipul,
Hmm.
Nrupal especially introduced me to there is a street in Parel after the Ladu Samrat in Parel. There is a masala gully, and there
Okay.
you get all kinds of brilliant spices. Uh,
Ooh.
I remember. So you get the Goda masala, the Malwani masala. There is a black rasa masala. There is a white rasa masala. And there is one particular spice that I remember I got from there, and I'll be forever thankful to Nrupal for that. There's a
Mm-hmm.
particular masala which is called biryani masala.
Okay.
One of the most
Hmm.
aromatic things and one of the most delicious things I've ever had a chance to get my hands on.
Really?
I haven't made biryani with it, but I add it to anything. It just takes things to a whole different planet. So I started raving about it so much that one of my friends, Reshma, she went to Mumbai recently, and I'm like, can I get those masalas? I didn't hesitate. Yes, please. So she got the biryani masala and
Mm-hmm.
kanda lasan chutney. Another really good friend, Ranjita. Oh God, she's ultra generous. I think I remember she went to
Mm-hmm.
Solapur once, and she sent me enough stuff for me to open my own shop. I am truly fortunate to have such amazing friends, and I get spoiled. So okay, Shreya, another friend, she's from Delhi, and every time she goes to Delhi, she asks me, what do you want? I'm like, I want the Rupak masalas, which are very popular over there. So I get that. Recently, I think Shubhra came from Delhi. She asked me, what do you want? I asked for masalas. Uh, and okay, speaking of masala, there is one more masala of which I have a very vivid memory. So we went to
Hmm.
Amritsar with my parents, and my geography is not very good, but there is a street, and if I'm walking from the temple, the Jallianwala Bagh entrance is to my right, but to my
Hmm.
left there are few stalls that sell masalas, and one of
Okay.
them was selling a chole masala. What that person told me is, you have to take chole, which is soaked overnight. You have to add this masala. You pressure cook it for 3 whistles. Don't do this onion, garlic, tomato paste nonsense. Once this is done, add a spoon of ghee. Your chole is done. Just maybe mash a little bit.
Really?
That's it. And it's sad that I ran out of the damn masala, but that is, I was blown away by that chole. I didn't realize that I could make that kind of chole in such a simple manner. So because usually when you learn about these dishes, it has some 20-25 spices. When the
Correct.
clock strikes one, you have to add the onion, otherwise taste won't be same. You have to take the kasuri methi and use your thumb
Uh-huh.
only to kasofy it. If you
Yes,
use
of
your
course, yes.
index finger, the taste will be different. All kinds of crap. This is so elegantly simple. Like, take chole, put the masala,
Phenomenal.
3 to 4 whistles, nice and soft. Add your salt, add your ghee on top. No tadka, by the way, just ghee. You're done. Top notch chole. I was
Oh,
truly at a loss of words that how is it possible to make this kind of chole so fast and so conveniently?
I'm a huge chole fan, man.
Yeah.
I
And
love
and
good
and and
chole.
and,
Oh,
and yeah, so I mean I'm 100% sure I'm missing mentioning a lot of people and a lot of such masalas, because I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I will admit I'm truly spoiled by the fact that I have so many wonderful friends.
Yeah. No
You
one
know,
has to think second time before, if they're like, so we are
yeah,
going out somewhere, what to
yeah.
get for Ajit Masala is the answer to
So
it.
by the way, Rachita went to Indonesia and she got some excellent sambal from there. I remember there is another good friend. So this is Thindi plus running friend Vishal. He was in Kolkata and he
Hmm.
called me suddenly from a place and it's like, hey, I'm looking at a bottle of Nolen Gur. Would you be interested? I mean, hell yeah, I would be interested. Thank you so much.
That's the power of your community, the love that is shared in your community. It's solid good. It's awesome.
It is. I'm extremely grateful and thankful to all these wonderful people. I think the list goes on, but and sadly, I'm not able to remember more people. But it's truly fantastic feeling when you have access to all these things. And I have to give Bangalore as a city quite a bit of credit for now
Mm-hmm.
showcasing a lot of regional ingredients, right? So
Mm-hmm.
as an example, like 300 meters down where I live, down the road, there is a sweet shops, and they stock some
Okay.
really good Katdare brand Maharashtrian masalas. You get your Goda, Kanda Lasan chutney, Misal masala, Shengdana chutney, Kanda. It's truly good stuff. And they have
Mm.
I don't know how, but every week they get a shipment of that Chitale Bandhu Bhakarwadi straight from
Oh,
Pune.
from Pune.
So WhatsApp पे I can ask, sir, stock है, हाँ है, आ जाइए. So I'll get 2 dabbas anytime. Then there is this Loyal City hypermarket on the Whitefield main road. They have a
Just
Bengali.
beside Anand Sweets.
Yes, they have this beautiful Bengali aisle. So you get the Govinda Bhog rice, you get the Boris, you get the Kasundi. There is a specific brand called JK which makes Panch Phoran masalas. You get your
Mm.
Jharna ghee. I mean, it's
You get
truly
Mukhorochak Chanachur.
yes, you do absolutely. So it is that scene is fantastic. Now in Banaswadi area, apparently the Korean food scene has exploded. So there are a
Mm.
lot of Korean supermarkets where you get the kind of ingredients that are needed to make good quality Korean food. Japanese
Mm.
ingredients have always been around. Italian, of course, you go to certain places, you
Yeah.
get the good stuff. So,
Mhm.
so that way, even Bangalore has, evolved a lot in terms of the food landscape and the kind of diversity of
Yeah. Yeah.
ingredients that you can have access to. My sister lives in the
Yes.
US. Every time she comes, Vanda, what do you want? Mexican stuff. Because US, you get
Me too. I
top
always
tier.
ask for Mexican masalas. Yes.
So there is this assortment of habanero sauce. There is
Oh,
a
yeah.
poblano sauce. a bunch of chilies, and you have this adobo seasoning, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I mean, truly spoiled for choices. But yes, short answer to your question is yes.
One, you have to tell us about that sweet shop.
So the Raj sweet, by the way, they make a good chena poda also. It's good. And the
Okay.
sweets are nice. Some they also make a decent pyaz ki kachori. They make a mawa kachori that's really nice.
Oh, what's the name again?
Raj Sweets.
Raj Sweets.
It's good stuff.
Okay. For very, very personal reasons, I will note it down in large font. Man, Ajit, you really have to repay all your, amazing friends by starting this food truck or something like that. Yeah, pop shop, food truck, something like that. You have great access to, phenomenal ingredients and all of that. You have a scientific mind to, mix A and B and C from some other country and all of it. And you enjoy doing all of this. You really should. I was thinking, I was initially asking you about a book, but now I think pop shop, food truck, something like that you should do, yeah.
It's kind of funny you mentioned, because actually places like Chinita and all, that's how they started. They used to be
I
a
love
truck at
Chinita.
Sunday Soul Sante. That's how they started. And
Oh,
now, yeah,
really?
I think they
Oh,
started off as a restaurant. So they used to be a food truck in a Sunday Soul Sante. People used to enjoy the food, and then they decided,
yeah,
okay, we'll take the plunge and get into a full-fledged restaurant. Now there are two outlets. Both seem to be doing
correct.
well. So good stuff.
Yeah,
And even, by the way, IDC started that way. IDC
that is
never,
correct.
yes, they were a food truck
In
in
the
Kaban
middle of
Park.
Kaban Park on Sundays, they used to
I
come,
mean,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, forget I don't know which one was greater, the number of joggers or the line at the IDC food truck for belting the Thindi. I mean, yeah, it was
correct.
terrific stuff. And then, of course,
Yeah,
now you look at them, a lot of outlets. I think they have opened in Bombay also. So I really love these stories where somebody starts small and now you kind of make
correct.
it big.
I can totally see that happening with you as well,
Nah,
Ajit.
I'm not.
You
I
have
am too lazy. Sadly, A, I am lazy. B, yeah, B, I have zero business sense.
वो सब कोई और कर लेगा.
I don't know. But if somebody see, if say I won't take this, but if somebody tells me, hey, I have a truck, do you want to come cook in my truck with this stuff? You can bring your stuff also. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, okay. कोई बात नहीं. People who are listening, Ajit's
I'm
throwing
in for it.
ideas. Wink, wink. Take it up. Grab with both your hands. So tell me now, if you're thinking of underrated dishes that are great and are not really found in restaurants and rather should be, what are
Okay.
some of your...
Not too far. There was this Karadiya Nombu that I don't celebrate or I don't participate at all. But my mother-in-law makes the Nombu Ade, sweet and savory. I love both.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
I
and
love it.
obviously you don't get them in restaurants because they're very
Yeah.
specific for very special. That is truly underrated in my opinion. And okay, let me take an example of Shavige Bhat, right? Now, when you
Yeah.
look at Shavige Bhat, you in the Darshinis, obviously idli, vada, dosa takes the limelight. Shavige Bhat is another ubiquitous item that appears in Darshinis, but particularly in Bangalore in Karnataka. They are incredibly underrated. Let me take an example of this place called South Kitchen. It's in NR Colony, right next
Okay.
to NR Colony bus stop. Eh? Think about this, right? I packed Shavige Bhat from there and I took a cab half an hour later and I came to Whitefield. It got spoiled. It's gone.
Yeah.
When you have it there, it's ridiculously fresh. It is insanely light. With that chutney, it's absolutely heavenly. So think about it, right? It is fresh and it spoils because it doesn't have the fats to give it the shelf life. And each strand is separate from the other. Yet it is incredibly light.
That is right.
To do that at that scale day after day, the kind of finesse that requires that is exhibited by the chef who is making that item. But to keep those strands separate with such less fat, I think that is a truly underrated dish in my opinion.
My
I
favorite.
mean, these are a lot of things we take it for granted because see, food is also very inexpensive.
Correct, I know.
In some fancy places, fancier, newer darshinis, it may be 50, 60 bucks. But
Mm-hmm.
old
But
school
still,
places, they
mm,
keep it so simple, so light, so flavorful. And to
mm-hmm.
me, why it's underrated is at that scale, the way to preserve and keep it tasty is by definition adding fats.
Yes,
You go
correct.
to restaurants, all the subsies, etc., to increase the shelf life. Simplest thing to do is add more fats. Of course, it tastes great, but the real challenge lies when you're operating on a scale and how to give a simple minimalistic dish with all its true, clean, fresh flavors on the plate without dousing it in fat year after year. And that's why these places are in
Yeah.
that
And
same
the same
consistency.
consistency every single
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
My God, for me, if I'm making Shavige bath at home, every time I make it with one different
Yes.
consistency somehow. Like half a minute more, it'll get all mushy. Little
Yeah.
bit before, it'll get all like kata kata.
I know. The dishes, some of them are underrated, but the skill and the technique these chefs exhibit, it's a thankless job, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
see the reels, the owner gets the limelight.
Yeah,
These people are actual heroes who churn
yeah, yeah, yeah,
these things out day in, day out, consistently. Sometimes I'm actually a bit disillusioned with this whole Michelin star business where I respect that. There is an incredible amount of craft that goes into Michelin star level dishes, but that's a very different level of skill. But so is this.
yeah,
And our own does not get the credit it deserves. We actually take it for granted, and sometimes we ourselves are our biggest enemies. So you go to, what is this? Why am I paying this much for this? Why not? You would go to
mm-hmm.
a Michelin star place and you would get the like a minuscule morsel of food. You're okay to pay top dollar. I get it, fine. The
Yeah,
ambience is different. There is a story to be told. There's a theme, and the ingredients are of the highest quality. The chef,
yeah, mm-hmm.
it's an artistic expression, so you're also paying for that artistic expression. I get that, but when you set all that aside, this is a very simple food
Yeah,
that put on our plate with incredible level of technical skill that is involved.
yeah.
And of course, I am speaking about food from the southern part of India. Through I cannot help but think of Roshogolla. It's not underrated, of course,
Yeah.
but I can't imagine one of the world's best sweets is available to you in Kolkata for like $10 anywhere on this planet. I mean, Italians
That's
can
true.
make their cheese with milk, but
Yeah.
what Bengalis and Orias do with milk, it is
Alag
something
level.
that boggles my mind every single day. If I have milk, if I have to give it to one set of people, I would pick the Orias and the Bengalis. Do your magic. I mean, when I think about it, maybe dishes. I'm not into rating, but lot of things are underrated. But what is really underrated is the regional facets of our cuisine. Maharashtra has its own stuff, Gujarat has its own stuff,
Yeah.
Rajasthan has its own stuff, TN has its own stuff.
Every place. Yeah.
Off late, I have been discovering that UP has a tremendous food scene. We use
Mm-hmm.
phrases like आज साउथ इंडियन खाते हैं, आज नॉर्थ इंडियन खाते हैं, and
और ये ऑथेंटिक है वो
yeah,
ऑथेंटिक है
and that
things like
just
that.
ruins the conversations around food. They're meaningless phrases because there is so
Yeah, yeah.
much regional diversity at play, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I could go on and on, but maybe so the dishes are underrated, yes. More importantly, the people who make these dishes for us day in, day out in a more or less thankless job under some really taxing conditions and at the price at which it is available, I think that culinary diversity and the technique that is involved in making those things is severely underrated in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when the master chef, that guy, when he came, I think Gary or someone, they had come and he worked with the folks in Mumbai on the streets actually doing it. And he was talking about, how it is unbelievable the prices that the final output prices, the effort that goes into it. And he went across different places, and in every place, first they made him that you have to first wear, the kind of outfit that all of us are wearing. You can't be in your fancy t-shirt and shorts, because if you really want to feel how we are feeling when we are cooking on the road, or in a small darshini equivalent, you have to have the whole feeling. And it's incredibly underrated, of course. You were talking about diversity of food across India and the dishes that you get everywhere around. This is something I had to add. We have this episode on Banaras with my guest, Pushpendra. Fantastic conversations in that. And he spoke about how different Banarasi food versus Lucknowi food versus, and then we are talking UP as, a bracket. He said, मैं तो बनारस से हूँ, लेकिन जो नवाबी फूड वहां मिलता है ना लखनऊ में, I'm like, dude, no, it's very different. The puri aloo here is different, the samosa there is different, and it was such a fascinating conversation to know. Again, it's like you said, within Karnataka only you have Udupi style, this style, that style. So similarly in UP you have every different style. Like there are so many different. If you take apna misal pav, there is 5 different kinds of misal pav only, right?
Yes. There's a Puneri, there is Nashik, there is some stuff in Mumbai.
Yeah.
Kolhapur,
Kolhapur, doji, the spicy, hitting the roof.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. Whoa, phenomenal. I'm telling you, your views and your opinion on food, we can keep on and on and on and on yapping. Yes. Amazing, yaar, Ajit. I really had a phenomenally lovely time talking to you. We haven't even touched upon beverages and all that, but maybe we can reserve that for another episode that we'll do with you again in the future.
Done and done.
Thank you so much for all the time that you've given.
And thank you so much. And also, all these chats, of course, rekindle a lot of extremely fond memories. And they keep reminding me how truly fortunate I am to lead the kind of life that I lead and being surrounded by some really, really amazing people.
We are fortunate to be a part of the group that you kind of founded kinds. I love the group, and I can talk on behalf of many of my friends who are part of the group. It is a really good group. Yeah, you get such crazy good conversations. I mean, it's a beautifully healthy, fantastic group, and I love it. Wonderful. Thank you once again. I had a lovely time podcasting with you. Definitely we'll do it again some other time.
Revati. It was wonderful talking to you. Take care.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Revati.
Thank you, Chalo. Good fun. We'll meet again in another one of your future walks.
Done and done.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
It was such a joy listening to Ajit, right? For years, I've read his pieces and listened to his stories across so many different platforms. And finally getting to chat with him, hear his opinions, dive into his food adventures firsthand was just superb. Definitely follow Ajit on Instagram. His handle is Macro Ajit, that is MACROAGIT. And on Twitter, or rather X, he is Ajit_Bhaskar, that's AGIT_BHASKAR. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Substack. We are Misadventures of a Sneaker. I will link up all these in the show notes. Also, we have recently launched a travel journal, a journal that is perfect for everyone, no matter your age. Pick one for yourself or gift it to your friend or to a kid. It'll be a keepsake where your favorite moments will live and where a silly sketch will bring back a whole story. You will find a link to order the journal in our show notes as well. Happy journaling and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.